Hey, well, here's what we're doing tonight. Since Trey cannot be with us, he succumbed. He's dead now. To us, anyway.
No, he's not.
Nope, he's dead.
I quite like him. Please don't kill him.
Until next week.
Oh yeah. Then he'll come back and because it's sweeps week, right? It's
Yeah.
a chance to come back and for the season finale.
I see.
Season finale? Oh boy.
So what we're going to do tonight is a system called Now. It doesn't stand for anything. It's just Now. I know it has like periods in it as if it's like an acronym.
I thought it was an
It's
acronym.
not.
No, it's
As far as I know.
that's great.
Yeah. It's like Microsoft's XNA, which stood for XNA is not an acronym,
Yeah.
which is slightly problematic.
That's fun.
but only slightly, because it still has XNA in the,
The X
acronym,
stands for X and A.
preventing
cool.
you from ever knowing what XNA actually stands
It's sort of like a
for.
nested loop.
It is.
But yeah, okay.
Yes, it
It's-
is.
There is no end.
Fucking programmers.
Somebody
So-
thought that was hilarious.
So now,
Obviously.
Now is a system that is part of a sort of a broader. It's a little difficult to explain. Basically, there are 3 core books that all share basically the same rules, but they serve different settings, right?
Yep.
Technically, the whole system is called "What's Old is New," or WOIN, right? And there are 3 core books. There's Old, which does fantasy stuff, right? There's New, which does science fiction stuff, and there's Now, which does like modern, like D20 modern style like games. You know, the near future, cyberpunk, like early like 80s cyberpunk could technically fall in there. Like if you want to,
retro cyber.
yeah, if you want to play a spy movie, you want to play an action movie, if you want to play
That's
like
retro
Kung
future.
Fury.
military stuff, yeah, Kung Fury, where you're hacking in.
Hacking time.
That stuff is played by Now, right? It's a fairly simple system. Like the base mechanic is pretty simple. There are a couple of things where I would liken it to being slightly crunchier than 5th edition D&D, but nowhere near Pathfinder, even remotely.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's just like from time to time, it's like, oh hey, you want to add some dice? Or you want to subtract some dice? Are you in cover? Add a die.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of
crunchy
thing, right?
part now.
As long as it's not so crunchy as claiming cover.
No, it is not. No.
That it wouldn't be a problem if they just explained what it meant.
Basically, you are taking your attribute, which will give you a certain amount of d6, right? For instance, if your strength attribute was let's say a 3, which is at the lower end of average for like a human being, right? That would give you 2d6. Then you would add a skill on top of that, or an attribute, again, if it was you didn't have a skill that like applied, right? So let's say I wanted to do weightlifting. That was my skill, right? And my weightlifting is at a rank 6. That would give me 3d6. That's my pool. Roll. Add together. What do I get? That's 5, or 9, 10, 11, 12, 18. Did I beat the target number? Did I meet or beat the target number? If I did, then I succeeded. If I didn't, then I did not succeed. In fact, I failed, I believe is the term for it. And that's it. That's the whole thing.
Nice and simple.
That's it.
I love it. I love it already.
Attacks are like that. Damage is like that. Like, everything you can possibly do is like, form the die pool, roll, add the numbers together, compare.
Boom,
That's it.
Wonderful.
So,
Do you need these today?
no, I don't need those today, no. Thank you. So the way this is going to work, I'm going to be putting characters together. Here are a couple of things in mind as you're putting characters together. This is I won't go so far as to call it a spy mission. But you're special operatives, right? You do spy shit all the time.
Spy adjacent.
It's December 30th, 1989.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, you don't have cell phones. Got it?
Yeah.
the internet is.
Yeah, look at
The ARPANET.
Yeah, it's not really a thing. It belongs to the DoD, basically.
Or do we have those giant brick GPS cell phones?
Maybe.
Oh, sat phones?
If you buy a sat phone,
maybe.
sure, you can have one. Yeah, dude. Put a sling over your shoulder, and yeah.
80.
You gotta extend.
1989.
Oh boy.
So basically, so frame yourself in that mindset, right? Not a lot of like no smartphones, no internet. Everything else is you've got cassette tapes, you've got
Video.
videotapes, you've got
VHS.
monitors and
VHS.
stuff, like everything before like
I'm a Betamax.
everything before the digital, the big digital push really took off with the internet, right?
I've got a BuzzFeed article on things that happened that year. The World Wide Web was invented, but not even implemented.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Was anyone even born by 1989?
Yeah, I was
Oh, that's right.
I was a year old.
We're old people.
No, you were a year old. You were
So?
just born.
That's born.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you can- oh, thank you. Yeah.
It's close
The,
enough.
the Berlin Wall came down that same year.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first GPS satellite went into orbit. Seinfeld was on.
Hey!
Nintendo came out with the Game Boy.
Ooh, nice.
The Little Mermaid became part of our world.
That was my favorite movie brother.
Jesus.
The first
Yeah.
broadcast of high definition TV aired in Japan.
Of course. Yeah.
And top grossing movie was Batman.
Of course it was.
Which one?
So really
Yeah,
not
which
all that
one?
different from a
Which
couple.
one?
The Tim Burton one, the very
Yeah.
first one.
Oh,
With
awesome.
Joker. Jack Nicholson as
Jack
the
Nicholson.
Joker.
Nice.
Oh, that's the one I haven't ever seen because he looks like a clown. I can't handle it.
The
I'm
Joker
terrified of clowns,
usually
Steve.
looks like a clown.
I don't get it.
Actual
Like,
phobia.
Neither do I, but she has a legitimate
I mean,
phobia
legit
of clowns.
fucking
Like,
phobia.
Is there any version of the Joker you've seen?
Heath Ledger was fine.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
That,
He's less clown-like
He
looks
and
very
more
much less
deranged.
clown-like.
He looks more like a crazy hobo.
Crazy. Yeah.
It makes-
But like once you put that
But-
fucking face paint on, I'm done.
Though you
Peace
couldn't
out.
really
See
tell
you
it
later.
was
Like-
Heath Ledger
like Pennywise.
until the
It?
interrogation.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
She can't deal with it.
Nope. I
I
mean,
don't
they
think-
saw
but-
me. We were playing Until Dawn, and like that
Yeah.
one clown showed up, and I immediately just like fucking freaked out, and and it was not.
But like, what's
Not think
your?
about it.
Because for me, like, in real life, that's interesting. How can you be afraid of clowns? I get that you can be like as a child scared of it, but
Because it's a phobia. Phobias are weird.
They don't make any
defy
damn
logic.
sense.
Like, I have a phobia of spiders. To the point that I can be like, I know that thing can't hurt me. I can understand
Right.
that.
It does not goddamn
But-
matter once you see one.
Even the smallest little one, just like, boom, fight or flight response. Like, super tiny. And it pops off and is like, that doesn't make
yeah.
sense. It's the same
But
thing.
clowns.
Mine are just clowns.
Yeah. So, the closest thing I can think
so I was
of
looking at building a
is like,
character.
the
And it
face
turns
paint
out that
is
my
similar
character could
to,
be 5 years old.
What would it be?
I mean, yeah.
So, like in
I
nature,
wouldn't-
you
I
get
wouldn't
things
recommend
with
it.
these bright
At that
colors and
pack
whatnot
that I
for
chose to
certain
type.
poisonous animals.
They could actually
it
end
could
up
be
at 5
something
years old.
similar to that.
Now you're
See, to me,
adding age
it's
every time
like-
you
but
take
I
a
don't
grade,
know.
right?
Yeah, but they're
Why
all
spiders?
1d6.
Sure. Yeah.
Spiders are one of those things where it's like, oh yeah,
You
that-
could conceivably
that's something
be five,
humanity
I
has
guess.
dealt with for a
Yeah.
long
Again,
stretch of time.
poison-
And we have almost.
But if you're five,
They
you don't
think
benefit
been
from that
ingrained
extra
to
luck
have a
die that you
fear
get because you're
of
playing in cinematic
spiders.
mode.
Because the people
For
who had
the
the fear of
survival.
spiders
Yes.
survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I end up being
It's-
5,
it's-
can I roll again?
Some
I
of
think
them are
you
weirder
should
than others.
be an adult.
Yeah,
So
but
we'll work it out so you're an adult.
I have a much better
Will you
appreciation
move
for
it
it.
just tiny bit because
Sure.
I can't see your beautiful face.
Thank you.
Question mark?
Just take it. Just accept
Okay,
it.
I
We'll take
No
it.
question.
It was good for him.
Okay. But was it good for me?
it was odd for me too. Sorry. Didn't mean it. I will call you ugly.
I didn't mean it.
Don't insult the guy. There's nothing wrong with
Now
this
I'm
face.
hurt.
I just don't want him to blush even more.
Look, like I say, just because someone's not your cup of tea doesn't mean they're not a good cup of tea.
There you
Right?
go.
Hey,
When do you ever say that?
I have
don't-
said that many times.
I
Usually about.
I've
Usually
never
about.
heard her say
I've
that.
never heard her say that.
I don't normally talk about people I find attractive.
Well, you're inventing this sitcom saying.
I usually say it about Jason Momoa, for the record.
Oh, you're because you're
And
talking to your
Idris Elba.
sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, not my cup of
that's
tea,
fair.
but they're still a nice cup of tea. They're just not mine.
Jason Momoa is more of a stout beer.
Yeah, that's. I think that's actually
Tea.
what Kelly told me too.
Anyway,
I could call weird people like Earl Grey, and they wouldn't be like, "Oh, what's going on?" I just like to call you Earl Grey.
yeah, hot.
Like
Yeah.
an older, refined person?
Pierce
Patrick
Brosnan
Stewart?
is Earl Grey.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
No, Ian McKellen's now.
What tea is he? If you,
He's like chamomile at this point. Like he's
Oh,
that
he's-
close
he's
to
mellowed.
slipping away.
completely mellowed.
Is he like fucking Ensure at this point?
Someone like Sean Connery is more like a fine age Scotch.
No,
A
he's
tea
like,
spiked with scotch. Yes, absolutely. yes.
he would be like a black Irish tea spiked
Irish
with
tea.
scotch.
Emphasis on the Irish.
Yeah.
And like Shia LaBeouf was like a one of those really girly cocktail drinks.
He is.
Zima.
He's Lacroix.
No, just a Lipton tea
I
bag.
like that.
Just a regular
Tea bag.
regular ass tea bag. Yeah.
Ouch.
To be fair, I'll drink Lipton.
Yeah, me
See,
too,
personally,
but,
I don't think there's
no.
anything more insulting than being called Lipton iced tea.
I don't know.
That's as deep as that cut
I
can
don't
go.
know. LaCroix is pretty.
LaCroix's pretty bad.
That's bad, but that's like poppy bad. Whereas like tea is something I appreciate. So my understanding of Lipton is like dropped way lower than those people who are
Sure.
just like, you
Yeah.
know, tea every
It's
now
tea,
and again.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get this one YouTube.
Sorry,
video
we were
on
about to
online
play a game.
Really?
of LaCroix.
I think
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
now that you've got
Jason.
your character sheet,
Yes.
it's okay. I deal with this literally every day of my life.
I'm just sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry.
It's a fun
We
conversation.
do this to you every time.
Literally
so sorry.
every time.
And it's like
literally
always-
every time. We have
Yes.
records of that.
Yes.
It's like always my fault. I'm just sorry.
And it's you doing it now. See?
Sorry.
I will blame you for.
Don't be sorry, be proud of it. It's who you are.
So we're working in the 80s, specifically the tail end of the 80s, 89, and the end of the year, so it's coming into the 90s, right? You are international special operatives, which means that you engage in quasi-legal or illegal activities at the behest of clients, some of whom are governments. Does that make sense? You know, like think of yourself as you've seen the Mission Impossible movies, right? The Impossible Mission Force, the IMF, sometimes works at behest of the American government. Sometimes they have to go rogue and do something because the senators aren't listening or whatever. You guys are basically the IMF, so think of it that way, right? That having been said, as we're constructing our characters, your last career that you take needs to be spy. So you can have that ground level of like you're currently a spy, you've got you got some training, but before that, how you got to that point, what you worked as.
Could it be something
It's up to
similar,
you.
but not like necessarily spy? Like I was going to do like pretty heavy scout
No.
soldier.
Last one has to be spy.
I mean, you can still do like scout, soldier.
You can take
spy.
a career
That's
multiple
great.
times.
Yeah.
So you could go origin, whatever that may be, scout, spy, right? You know, if you wanted to drill down on it, right? Okay, so first things first. Each of your starting attributes, see that line just above below your name: strength, agility, endurance, intellect, logic, willpower, charisma, luck, reputation. Ignore chi because that's for like when you do magical martial arts shit.
Mystical.
That's
Okay.
we're not dipping into that. All of those start at 3, except for the last 2, reputation and chi. Those start at 0, and those are going to change, right, as you're going through your.
Hansel and for sure.
So should I just mark out G?
Yeah, just don't pay attention to chi.
Okay.
Now you're going to choose a heritage. Guess what? Everyone's heritage is human. Because the other options are like...
Can't be mutant.
The other options are like the chosen one,
Fantastic.
a mutant, and literally like a cyborg guy.
Aw.
And we're not doing
Augmented.
that. This is a Mission Impossible ass movie.
Wanted
There are
horns.
mutants in that. So, what that means is a human. You get +2 to your luck attribute.
Okay.
So your luck attribute already goes up to
5.
5. That's right. Then add 2 to one other attribute, of your choice, and then add 1 to one other attribute of your choice.
So what's everybody thinking? / already written down.
Agility and logic.
Okay.
What, G?
How dare you? You
Did
knew that's what
everybody
he
choose
wanted.
the same thing?
Aww.
I chose agility and rep.
Okay.
INT
Reputation?
is intuition.
Intelligence.
Is
Is
intelligence.
intelligence.
Because I think
quickly
that was
trying to
used
figure
for
out-
like perception.
It is intuition, because logic is like...
Is it intuition? I'm
Yeah.
just-
I think so because it's used for like perception and stuff.
Yeah, logic is...
It is intuition. I'm
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing a hard divide between those two.
Yeah, strength, agility, endurance, intuition, logic, willpower, and charisma.
Okay, so I'm bumping agility and intuition then.
I'm leaning charisma since I haven't heard any of that. So maybe we'll do...
We can.
You gotta speak up,
we
man.
can double
Like
up.
this.
Never mind.
Look, you got there's
God.
gonna be a lot of overlap
Oh, yeah,
anyway
yeah,
because you're
yeah.
all spies.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay. There's
okay.
overlap. It's fine.
Sure.
I wanted to have money, so I chose reputation.
So
Okay,
what's the...
so now I'm gonna try to guess what you picked next.
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Did you go with strength?
Yes.
Yes. 3 for 3. No, I'll do
But strength
charisma.
was my first pick.
Now, as you're
Okay, yeah, that works.
as you're modifying these attributes for your human heritage, remember that the adding 2 to one attribute of your choice, the next one has to go to another attribute.
Right,
You can't like basically add 3 to one thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's okay, and it's 2. It's 1 plus 2 and 1 plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Choose an attribute, add 2. Choose another attribute, add 1.
Will you... Sorry.
I mean, I part of me is tempted to be like, just play for luck.
Yeah. Will you...
Get that set.
So one thing about this is
lucky tail.
guns are prohibitively expensive.
Mm-hmm.
At least if you're buying one from the 20th century. So will you be able to buy ones from the 1800s?
We'll see.
So,
Couldn't those
what
then
is
become
the willpower
prohibitively
for?
expensive
Like,
because they're
show me the difference between
they're like
Uh,
archaic,
logistics,
they're
willpower.
artifacts?
That's not the way it
Willpower
looks at.
is like
That,
your
that was one of the things I
mental
appreciated about
defense.
D20 Modern.
How good
Is
are
they
you?
did for each tech
how
level
strong
away
is your
something was, it
mind?
bumped the price up.
How hard can you concentrate? How much can you resist, like coercion and stuff like that? If people trying to
I see.
change your mind, manipulate your mind, yeah.
I'll go with logic.
Logic would just be like reasoning, knowledge, education. and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm gonna
Think
go.
of it like your IQ.
Yeah, they give you the literal, like, it's not an exact approximate, but take 60 plus your logic times 10, and that's your approximate IQ,
For your
in quotes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like, IQ doesn't mean much anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
It is a hyper-specific slice of human intellect. That sounds delicious. To many of us, apparently.
Yes.
I thought you were coming tonight, so I was like, well, I'm going to get started.
Action figures.
Now that you've done your attribute adjustments for your human heritage,
Mm-hmm.
now you get to pick 3 skills.
Oh, 3 skills.
She will hoard mugs.
The way that works, right?
Ever.
Since we're human, they can be any skills.
They can be anything, yeah.
Skills.
Now, the skills aren't hard coded. You could pick watercolor painting if you wanted to. I have a list of example skills under a lot of different umbrellas if you need the help.
I've got the list as well, if need be, since it's up on the Facebook.
It's on the Facebook page,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Appraisal, carpentry, cooking, blacksmithing, basket weaving. Nice.
Is it
Slide that in
underwater?
there. No,
Oh.
that's even more specific. You can if you want.
You have to multi-class.
Yeah, usually it's cool.
Okay, so how many are we picking for skills?
3.
Three.
Other fun stuff.
Still busy. Busy.
I'm gonna lean on some socially ones.
Sure.
Probably doing like leadership, linguistics, and something else to kind of round that out. But
I put like some spices in the coffee tonight too.
We'll see if I
Wonderful.
don't grab some subterfuge.
Cinnamon
I
and
can
allspice.
smell that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Delights.
A little allspice and ginger.
Okay.
All right.
I'll do
Okay.
Mimic. Oh wait, that's not like natural.
swords, knives, clubs. See, that's odd because like, could it be just like simple martial weapons, and it could be like knives, clubs, and swords together, or do I have to actually like pick one? My signature weapon.
You're encouraged to pick a specific category of weapon, but not so
Area.
broad that it's just like melee.
It's not like guns.
It'd be like
You're not playing
pistol,
Michael Cross.
rifle, shotgun, that sort of thing.
Is there
Categories.
opportunity attack or?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there's a skill called martial skill, combat skill, reaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's for
like defending.
initiative.
Or like, yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Is it like, yeah, interesting.
It's how fast you react. How much you're trained into reacting.
How many skills do we?
You pick three
Three.
for right now,
Oh boy.
and each of those starts at rank 1. Right?
It's FAQ.
I keep thinking of this character, and I'm like, I'm leaning too heavy into like the Bond mentality, and going, well, he's got to have a sport that they play.
Sure.
Is it going to be like tennis or volleyball or cricket? One of those.
Croquet.
And then you see like bowling, and you're like, that's kind of a nice working
A
man
weird,
swerve.
schlubby sport
Yeah.
to pick for an agent, secret agent.
So, Mr. Bond, there's a tournament that you need to go.
I gotta get this perfect.
How to survive?
You're the only agent who can throw a spare.
How to survive my deadly 7-10 pick, Mr. Bond?
And you just have like a gadget that like splits the bowling ball.
Literally
on
splits
command.
it in half.
I think you'll find this time that I'll be removing the guide rails.
I've removed the bumpers.
Okay, so
Oh,
we need to pick skills.
It's explosive, so
As a human
It's
being,
like, ooh,
you
it's
get
explosive
access to
bumpers.
3 skills.
you have to polish,
The skills
reverse,
aren't...
clockwise, counterclockwise.
The skills aren't-
deactivate, activate, deactivate.
Shush! The skills aren't hard listed. They're not hard coded, meaning that you can invent your own skill.
mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Okay.
There are a lot of examples on page 19 specifically. You've got that thing.
That's on page 21.
So basically, you would say like, okay, what kind of skill do I want? Just as a human being, you could say I want a physical skill, and I've got an example here like acrobatics, swimming. No, I want a technical skill. Okay, well, how about demolitions,
I see.
hacking? I want a social skill. How about negotiation, bluffing? You know,
Okay.
I want a crafting skill. Congratulations, you've got carpentry. Or,
So we'll put the skills here somewhere. In
basically,
these
the way that it fills
squares.
out is that you'll. It's kind of hard to see, but in that
Yeah,
lighter
but-
square right here, you'll write it down, and then you'll
Okay.
put a rank next to it, like 1, to start with.
Okay.
Right? And then on the bottom, that's where you'll record the amount of dice that you get from.
Okay. Could like martial arts be a skill?
Martial
yeah,
arts
that's actually
actually
underneath
Yep,
combat
martial
skills.
arts does count. Yep.
That's what I'm gonna get.
There you go.
How many of us are taking martial arts?
And that's separate from like boxing and wrestling
Right.
and what's called brawling, right? Which is, if you want to think of it that way, it's like less mannered and structured than martial arts, right?
Right.
Brawling's the kind of thing you do in a bar,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, it's not the kind of thing I do in a bar. One could conceivably do in a bar.
Okay. I'm trying to picture an agent and like what skills could he or she have?
Now, keep in mind that when you pick your careers, you'll be asked to pick skills sometimes under a certain umbrella, like performance or technical or whatever. So you may want to just pick the skills that you would want
Just
a
base.
regular person to
Okay.
have, yeah, and then get your other skills later. because you're going to pick spy as the last one, and that spy one is going to tell you like, okay, well you need to pick X or Y, right?
Okay.
Now, it gives you a lot of options. Do you get to choose one from each of their options? Like when it says like skill choices or whatever?
Don't get ahead of me.
Are you extra sassy tonight?
The sass cannot be contained.
When you get into a career, like picking a career, I'll go ahead and say spy, for instance. That's your last one, right? It'll say skill choices. For instance, in spy it says interrogation. You can pick that.
Okay.
Law, you can pick that. It has a bracketed entry called subterfuge, which could include like lockpicking, like casing the joint. You know what I mean? Like
Right. So
when it's in brackets, it means picks a skill that's related to that.
these three will be just base for before any careers. Just
Yeah,
like,
mhm,
this is what I want.
just pick some stuff that you want.
Okay.
So
Like if you wanted your guy before he even got into a spy to be a good swimmer,
Right.
that's what I did. Yeah, I picked climbing, insight, and brawling. Actually,
I'm getting martial arts, perception, and
are you listening to Satan right now?
yes. Actually, I think it's Killing Joke. Yes, it is.
Like the man who sold the world beforehand. Always a good pick.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I do recognize.
I think there's one song from like the 90s on here, but that it sounds so much like it's from the 80s, I just sort of hand
Slip
waved
that
it.
in there. Spiritually.
we got martial arts, investigation, and perception.
Very good.
Seems reasonable.
Good mix.
Now, on the back of the sheet, there's a section that also says attributes. I'm pretty sure that's a misprint. I'm pretty sure that should say exploits instead.
Okay.
They stole my word.
That's true, Greta Writer.
And in that section, you record the exploits you might get, which are kind of like, you can think of them as feats, like little things that differentiate your character.
Little abilities you can do.
Yeah. Now, as a human, you get the following exploits. Okay? Explorers. Now, that's not going to be necessarily relevant to you right now, but just to let you know. Humans gain XP equal to their grade, which will be 5, but you won't pay attention to that later, when you enter a country new to you. And you can do that once a month, basically. So in the course of play, once a month, if you travel to a new country, you get 5 XP for free.
And you get all 3 exploits, not just one.
I thought you only got
For the-
one.
What are you talking about?
Because
For
there's 3
exploits.
exploits under human. I thought you only got one.
Yeah.
I could be for that, not origin, but
Because
for your species,
the
you may
other-
get all 3, but for like career and origin, you only get 1.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
Every
talking
time
about
you
your
get-
heritage. These are human exploits that everybody gets.
For heritage, you get all of them.
I thought you had to like choose one.
No, each heritage also has natural exploits. You're supposed to list all the ones listed.
Alright.
Awesome.
Bonus.
So you've got explorers, right? You've also got enduring. You get +1 to your 1d6 die roll to shake off a temporary condition. So sometimes you'll have to roll a d6 to try to get out of being dazed or,
Conditions.
drunk or stunned.
A temporary condition.
Right. So humans, because they're enduring, they'll get a +1 to whatever they rolled on that roll to try to get out of it. That's it. That's it for humans.
That's only 2. You said 3.
The first one is
The first one is the one that's like, hey, add 2 to 1
Oh, I
atmosphere.
see. Okay.
That was already factored in.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Now, you need to choose a hook and note it in your descriptor. Now, on the front of the page, you can see underneath name it says a blank who or with blank.
No.
What page is the hooks?
They don't have. There's not.
So I thought
It's,
there
it's,
was.
it's another one of those like open-ended things. It makes a suggestion or two for hooks that you can take. You know what I mean? Like, let me give you an example.
I think one is an alcoholic, the other one is love scars.
Alejandra Vanistos is a nimble, augmented burglar, augmented being a cyborg person, who loves automobiles. Ben Majos is a suave human spy who likes to drink. So if you want to like construct this, basically you're saying like if you're particularly young or old, you might put that, right? And you'll figure that out later. You know what I mean? A trait that you have, like suave, right? Or nimble, that sort of thing, right? Your heritage, which is human. Your career, which right now is going to be spy, right? Who, and there's your hook. Who does this, or likes this, or whatever. Now, the reason that you define that hook is because anytime that you're making a check that your hook pertains to, your die will explode.
I read that, and I also decided to have one that couldn't possibly come into context.
What?
I also chose to have a hook that couldn't possibly come into context so I could ever use it.
Okay.
It's a fair choice to handicap yourself, but it's your choice.
Right.
You do you.
Or to challenge the DM, really.
Yeah, I don't. If you don't use it, then whatever. I don't care.
So is that different? Is the hooks different than later where it says like the exploits like alert and alcoholic? There's
They're separate.
actually
Yeah.
okay.
Those are actually traits.
Okay.
Those are little things that later you can have, but the hook is just like, what is a fundamental part of your character concept that kind of defines them in a strong way. Now the hook, it's important to note, you can't sneak in a bonus to combat through that.
Nice. Who loves guns? Well, there goes Michael Cross.
It should provide a frequent reminder of a character's background. Something that's a part of you as a character. Like Ben likes to drink. Alejandro loves automobiles. Right? And you can see where the applications might happen in play. If Alejandro loves automobiles, then any time that she's asked to be behind the wheel, or to do some mechanic work, or maybe to apply a bomb to the undercarriage of a truck or something like that, that hook carries in.
Oh,
Because she knows, like, oh, I know the best place to put that. It's going to be next to the fuel line, which is here, on this particular truck.
Excellent.
This is like basically the part that takes the longest, because you're thinking of it freeform, so
I already thought.
Unstructured.
the one that you'll never use.
Yes.
Right.
Perfect.
And then I need to figure out a name, too. Ugh.
Well, you can leave
Those
this
come
one.
last.
Yeah.
They're always last.
Ugh.
Always. The protoplasm that is your character is still forming.
No. Can you give me a couple more examples again? Just like, real quick.
Of a hook.
Yeah, like of this.
Let's see here. I don't give a lot of examples necessarily in the book, but you might say your character loves chess, for instance. And so if you're actually playing chess, or you're participating in an activity that has like
Stress like strategy.
strategy like chess, I can see where that hook would come in. You might say that your character's quick to lie, right? You know, like your first impulse is to lie instead of to tell the truth. Right? You could say that you have a chip on your shoulder, right? That'll say, right? So that would be an example of a blank with a chip on their shoulder, right? Which means you've got something to prove, right? So maybe any time you're trying to do something that people think is completely beyond you, right? Maybe your dice explode, and you're constantly trying to prove yourself. That sort of thing. You could say you have a fetish for peeps.
For what?
Peeps, the little marshmallow
Oh.
Mushroom?
candy.
Marshmallow.
Like you just revved up by the thought of peeps.
Those.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That wasn't the one you picked, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
almost stole somebody's thunder there.
Yeah.
No.
Aren't they not invented there yet?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's
they
find
totally.
out.
I think these have been around for a
I
while.
remember
when
eating
were
them when I
peeps
was a
invented?
young kid. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember peeps when I was a
How
young
were
kid.
peeps invented? Not quite. 1953.
There you go.
Wow.
Because we used to get them in our Easter baskets. Yeah, I remember peeps from a very young age.
It originally took 27 hours to create one peep.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Believe it or not.
All that work for a shitty thing.
Serious? Well,
They're good.
Well, that may be one batch, not like a single little tablet.
To create one peep. Again, this is back in like 1953, so automation, I'm sure, wasn't really
Okay.
there for candies yet. I could... That makes sense. That's a lot of like shaving.
Let me know when you've all
Sculpting.
picked your hooks.
Good
And
to
you've
go.
described yourselves. Like,
All the hooks I'm thinking of are really just like going to work to my detriment.
that's fine.
That's fine.
You can find ways to turn that into your advantage. Does that make sense? By
Okay.
putting yourself in detrimental scenarios, basically.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
The best part of role-playing is making the dumb decision and then succeeding afterwards.
Yes.
Leon down.
So all of your sentences below your name should be like a human spy who or with blank, whatever your hook is.
Did it. Oh no. He sees the food. He wants the treat.
Now later, based on a trait you get, you might go back into your sentence and say a alcoholic, like human spy who, whatever. We're just trying to. The most important thing is to get the hook down, so you know where your
Where you
bonus
sit.
is coming from. Yeah, where you're. Let's see.
Google Translate. Help me, please. Oh, hi. Oh, hello. Oh, I missed you too. Oh, so excited.
Oh, hi, doggy. Oh, and there's the vocal.
I don't think there's a blank to market, but your size is medium, by the way, because you're human beings, and human beings are always medium size.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't be a different size unless you're a mutant.
Yeah, which nobody is, unless you are, and are hiding it from the government.
Secret.
You mean the plot of X-Men?
Basically.
Yeah.
Come on, internet, help me out.
And then again, if that comes up, we're playing Paranoia.
Yes.
Surprise!
Surprise, motherfucker. Now you guys keep talking about that. I'm gonna do it. Don't even start with me. I'll do it.
I was half considering being like, yeah, no, I can run a game. It'll totally be HSD. I wasn't prepared for HSD. It's paranoia. Surprise.
That would have been a good get.
Which scenario do you want? It doesn't matter. All
Yeah,
choices lead to paranoia.
That would have been the good build-up for it, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I've input all of this information. I know what I'm expecting. Boom, paranoia.
Okay.
In reality, we're just slowly building up the paranoia that one day paranoia will surprise you. But when?
Okay. I kind of got my stuff.
It's like the game. You can't
But better.
do it until you forget about the game.
And that's when you do it.
So once you've got your hook, then we're going to start like getting careers, right?
Heritage. Well, not heritage.
No, heritage we already did. 'cause it was
Origin.
you. Now your first career is going to be called an origin, which is going to be like you at your like earliest.
Early childhood.
You're talking about like early childhood, very young adulthood, like teenhood, basically. Were you a jock? Were you an everyman? Were you a military brat? A traveler, a street tough, an orphan. You see, those are examples.
That's in life
Origin.
path?
Yeah, so your first one at the very top will be your origin.
Okay.
So here are the options for that. And by picking this, it'll give you bonuses to certain attributes, right? Here's an example. Acrobat gets +1 to strength, agility, charisma, and reputation.
Not bad.
They also get to choose from the following skills: running, jumping, climbing, throwing, acrobatics. Makes sense, right? They also receive an exploit. For instance, slippery. +2 to defense when you're aware of an incoming attack. And you reduce falling damage by 1d6. So there's an example of an acrobat. Right? Now the thing about this is, normally when you're picking careers, you can pick a career multiple times. You can spend a lot of years in that career. Maybe you spent 20 years as a cop before you became a spy. That's totally possible. You just pick cop twice and then apply the thing twice, right? Origin, you can only pick once.
No, you can pick it twice.
You can pick it twice, but you can't pick another career before it.
You're supposed to only be able to pick Origin once.
No, you can pick it twice.
Did 2 copies of the book get sent out and they were different?
I see. No, once you leave an Origin, you can never go back.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You can take multiple times after the first time.
Can you
It only
give
takes
me, like,
1d6 years.
a couple options?
Acrobat, Everyman, where you're sort of like,
There, if you wanna-
yeah, if you want to
Okay,
take a look at
can
let's
Martial
see.
artist.
What are the other
Start
ones?
with acrobat. Everyman.
experiment.
Experiment.
Yes, that's what I'm taking.
You've been bred and engineered for a purpose. Your programming kicks in. You know what I mean? You're a lab kid. You're a
Martial artist,
secret
that's what I'm
soldier.
gonna do.
Military brat.
Farmhand, geek, jock, martial artist,
Nerd.
military brat, nerd, novice, meaning you were like brought up in a religious order. Orphan, scout/eagle, literally like a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout. Scion, you had a privileged upbringing to a wealthy family. Street tough, survivor, and traveler. Those are your options.
So attributes all listed, you pick. You take
in the
all
book?
You just
of
get
them
'em.
or one.
You just get them.
Is this in the book, so I don't have to make you repeat it over and over again?
It is on. Yes, it is. It is on page
You
34.
only get one. So that's the only. Oh, you get all the attributes, but the exploit is what you get.
Okay. Agility, endurance, willpower, and
Said 34.
chi.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
get plus
we're
one
not-
chi.
We're not using that.
So maybe avoid that one. Maybe.
So agility, endurance, and willpower.
No. No.
Seriously.
No.
Endurance, and willpower.
Seriously, who didn't know I was going for experiment?
And you get 4 careers total, including the origin.
You get 5 total.
5.
Origin plus 4 careers. The last one being spy. Right.
Wait a second. It says you receive a +1 bonus to all 3 defenses. There are more than one defense.
Yes.
Melee, ranged,
Okay.
mental defense.
Okay.
You can see at the bottom there.
Right. So I just.
Hand out.
Oh boy.
Basically, you just jot down a +1 there, so that later, whatever your number is, you're gonna add 1 to that.
Nice. Okay.
And this is your choice of skills.
You can pick 2 of those.
Oh.
Now, if you don't like the career skills, you can always select a defensive skill instead. And the defensive skill being something like evade. Right.
Or acrobatics is actually a defensive
Yeah,
skill.
that counts as a defensive skill. Concentration is a mental defense skill. Fortitude is a vital defense skill, like survival or resistance.
Pole arms? What is a pole arm?
Pole arm is like a blade at the end of a long stick. Right?
Oh boy.
It's a class of weapon, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you deflating?
Okay, here's the
I
difference.
hope
Like,
so.
tell me the difference because it says staves, and pole arms.
So
Staves don't have blades on.
But
And
what's
pole
the
arms are
difference
long.
then?
the weight at the end.
Yeah, pole arms, because of the blade, have an additional weight,
But
which makes it...
mechanically in the game, it's a stick.
No,
It's a
because
stick
pole
with a
arm
weight
will
at the
cut.
Yeah.
So it's like a glaive
Or
or
Rashi.
halberd.
Right, or trident.
Or a spear.
Technically, I mean, if you want to look at it.
Right?
Staves are all doing bludgeoning damage, basically. And then pole arms do stabbing, slashing. that sort of
Everything is bad. Okay, but I don't want to take religion nor art.
Religion is actually a mental defense skill.
thing. Mhm.
Makes sense.
Because
It's a
you
fallback.
kind of think about your
Yeah.
religion, basically. Like,
Okay.
nope, fuck this. I'm going to think about God now.
Going to my happy place.
And
Tactical
artistic?
in 3 range.
That means any artistic skill, like painting.
Yeah,
sculpture.
that's the one. That's the one. Okay. So that's the
I
origin.
feel like I know the singer to this band.
This is Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
There we go.
So your origin has next to it in brackets, it says like something like 2d6 plus 6 years or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
And that's how many years you spent in your origin.
1.
Okay.
It's not going well for me so far.
2d6?
No,
No.
the experiment is 1d6.
Oh, I see.
boy.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on which one.
My bad.
What origin did you pick, Jake?
I got the martial arts.
Martial arts. So you did 2d6 plus 6.
Yep.
So what'd you get?
15.
Yeah. So you spent the first 15 years of your life doing martial arts. So you're grade 1 on that.
Mm-hmm.
And your age, 15. Right?
Oh, yeah. Let's say I was born in the monastery and started right away.
Yes, it starts with
And
0.
newborn! Push-ups,
Yeah,
man!
start
You
doing
gotta
push-ups.
go. You gotta
I mean,
do
if
it.
you're a Shaolin monk, I mean, that's
Yep.
basically the whole
That's
thing.
It
that's
took
your
me
life.
a whole 1 year to be an
Experiment. Yeah. They got you done early. They removed you from the uterus, they spanked you, and then they were like, all right, let's start the experiment.
Start drilling the hole in the
That is,
brain.
that is
Yeah.
some vault tech stuff
Right.
going on there.
Okay.
I got 13 years as a military brat.
Okay, so
Hey, same here.
basically,
Literally the
the
exact
way
same.
that this works, it's kind of like a life path system. Your
Same
age
idea,
starts at
yeah.
0, and then every time you take a career, it'll say in brackets like 1d6 years or whatever. You'll roll that, that's how many years you spent. And that'll determine at the end just how old you are.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Have you tried Traveler?
No, but I've read.
It's
Yeah.
It's simple. Like you literally spend like 5 minutes just rolling dice, and then
Mm-hmm.
on the table you pretty much like, okay, this, and
Right.
then you either stop or do it again.
Because
Yeah,
you
isn't-
died during
exactly.
character
I was
creation.
gonna say, isn't it the system where you
Yeah.
die in character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best. It's really interesting.
You technically died there. Oh well, there you go.
The system is super simple, and like for homebrews is the best.
So now that you've picked your origin, then you're going to pick your 4 careers, right?
4 careers. Wow.
One of which, the one at the very end,
Has to be
is
spy.
spy.
Spy. Okay. So, 1, 2,
So you could do, G, you said martial artist was your origin, right?
Yep.
So you could say martial artist, and then I went to college, and then I was a diplomat, so that's 3 so far. Then I decided to be an engineer, and then I became a spy.
Or you can lean into it and choose an actual martial art to study.
Right.
Yeah. Or you could say my origin is martial artist, and then I became a stuntman, and I continued being a stuntman, and I continued being a stuntman,
Stuntman.
and then I became a spy.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Stuntman for life.
Okay. So for some reason my internet is not working.
Oh, I have
Will
this
you- yeah,
for that
do you have,
exact
like, a-
reason.
Something to help me, to assist me.
I have the book right here. I'll pull up the careers here. There you go.
Ah,
So there's one career that gives you an exploit that is a vehicle, and tanks are vehicles. Could you actually start with a tank?
No, because I said so.
That's fair.
Because that's dumb.
You did what now?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Almost as hilarious as the exploit that lets you once a day have doves fly out in the background.
Sure. I mean, yeah, it's some John Woo shit. Yeah.
That sounds good.
That is actually under gun fu.
Subject 3.
Exactly. That's all John Woo shit. That's all the killer.
oh my god, warrior monk, yes. I want to be a ninja.
Well, ninjas on there too.
I want that, both of that.
Yeah.
Like, on that career, that's me.
So I rolled 13 for military brat. Apparently, Stephen and I did the same thing again without
Same
knowing.
age. Yeah.
So does that mean I like need to do another origin because my character's only 13 right now?
No. You just
Okay.
go straight into your next.
I started my career as a one.
As one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
So what's our normal speed?
Started college at age 13.
It's a ride
That's
attribute
how you
from
did it,
like
I
I
guess.
went into the
strength
military or
and-
something.
Strength and
Yeah.
agility dice pool
And-
put together.
And running actually goes under that.
If you have the skill.
Yeah, if you have the skill.
So, we have origin, and then
I'll ask that
5
later then.
careers.
One of which is spy. The one at the
Last
very
is
end is
spy.
spy. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll make you your character. That'll make you a grade 5 because you took 5 life path things, right? Origin and 4 careers. What that grade means is that that's basically like your character level, right? So you're basically starting characters. Now, what grade 5 means in mechanical terms is that before your cool exploits and other things, the maximum amount of d6 you can have in your pool is 5. But exploits can then turn that into 7, 8, who knows? Right? Basically, it's like it's a cap on the dice pool to prevent starting characters from having like, I'm going to roll 10d6 now.
What's the human speed?
Your human speed, it is your strength and your agility dice
okay,
put
so
together.
we're...
You'll learn that later.
If I'm doubling up on skill choices, like I go to boot camp for 1 year, I can get some of the same skill choices I already got as military brat. Do I just gain another rank in them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
And
when
you
it says
gain by 1d6 at a time?
No, you're just gaining a number. So it goes rank 1, rank 2, rank 3.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
and then that rank eventually translates into dice.
Yeah, I'll tell you later what that
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine. I just
Yeah.
needed to know. Okay, so that's...
And anytime it says skill choices, that's one rank into whatever happens to be selected.
And I can do
Exactly. You
career
pick
Okay, cool.
that and you advance it by 1 rank. From
Okay.
0 to
Okay.
1, from 1 to 2, whatever. Right.
So I'll do 2 in rifles. What is carrying exactly?
Carrying?
Okay.
It's carrying stuff.
Literally, that's a skill,
Yeah.
just carrying.
I mean, well, if it's, like boot camp, for instance, you're...
Sure.
you're
Yeah,
each
no, I
pack
didn't know if
goes-
you meant like carrying firearms or like literally carrying
No,
packs. or-
that's
okay.
literally like carrying stuff.
Carrying packs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I need to make a
like,
check
It's like lift.
Yeah.
for my bachelor's degree.
Another verbiage.
Cut.
A logic of 13 needs to be reached
Mm-hmm.
before advancing any attributes. So that'll be, I will have a logic of 4 at that point in time. How many dice do I roll? To see if I pass
Or
with
2.
honors.
Yeah.
So what you're 4?
Would be at 4 at the start of it.
2d6.
2d6? Okay, I can't get 13, so I cannot pass with honors.
Yeah, because that would only be 12 at
Yeah.
maximum, right? Yeah.
Okay, read
Impossible.
tactics. Rifles.
Okay.
Survival.
I need like a printout of that skill sheet.
Law.
You mean page 19?
Yeah, because I'm looking at. Okay, you've got computers, and then pick a scientific, pick an artistic, pick a sporting, pick a social, pick a technical. And I'm like, okay, how many of these line up?
Give me a second.
I can map a couple of them, but yeah, the suggestions would go a long way.
Yeah, on skill choices we can do 2 of those, right? Listed.
You do all, right?
You have to pick 2 of the skills that are listed in the career.
Okay.
That helps
Oh, it's only
limit
2?
what I'm pulling then.
Yeah, you guys not reading the...
No,
well,
everything?
not
But
at
you
all.
can
You said
substitute
all.
one of them for the defense skill.
You can substitute one of them for a defense skill,
Still, good to
but you have to pick only 2 of the skills that are in your career or origin.
Okay.
But
Make
if you
sense?
take it more than once, you can.
That's
You
why
can
you
pick
take it
more.
more than once, so you can get multiple skills.
I was gonna say I'm gonna run out of skills real quick at this.
Yeah,
rate.
you're not supposed to have that many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, okay.
Because I didn't see anything
Slightly
about
less
that.
panicked.
'Cause I asked
Still
about that
slightly
earlier.
panicked.
The example skills should be behind you in a minute.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, choose 2 of the listed skills and advance each by 1 point. Note that a character may always select a defensive skill instead, like acrobatics or evade or religion, if you want. Then it says choose 1 new career exploit from the list shown. In the case of like an acrobat, they've only got 1 shown, so you just take that one. Or you can choose 1 universal exploit. An example of that would be aim.
But you get that one for free.
Well, aim or feint, right? Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you use.
But there are some universal ones that don't tie to any particular class, so instead you could be like, I don't really want slippery or whatever for the acrobat's feint. I mean, acrobat's exploit. I'll take this instead.
But origins usually have one, but actual careers.
The careers have multiple exploits, that you have to pick one of them.
So does boot camp count as one of my 4? 'Cause it's
Is it a
literally-
career?
It's only 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's, yeah.
All right. I just want to check before I
It's
get
a
going.
guaranteed way to be slightly younger.
What are these special abilities?
Those are the exploits, right? You pick one of those.
Oh, okay. So, per career.
Per career.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Some
if
of
I-
them have prerequisites.
Okay.
If I want to assume that I stayed in the military, do I need to pick soldier? Can I pick like sniper or pilot?
If
Like
you meet
adjacent.
if you meet the prerequisites, and
It doesn't really matter narratively. Like we can justify that as like, oh, you're in the Air Force. Oh, you're. It's really about like, what do you want your character to have in terms of attributes, skills, and exploits.
Okay.
And then later you can
Crusader.
sort of narratively like string all that stuff together. Like, okay, I was a military brat, then I got into boot camp, then I decided to become a pilot, so I joined the Air Force, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Big number 3.
No, you can always fast forward your character days.
Fast forward.
Like, you can age up your character and not give them like experience. So then
Just
your
be older.
attributes, aren't.
Cool. I will probably do that.
If you want to play a old character, you can get that.
That's the plan.
You want to play an old guy,
Mm-hmm.
not an adult, just a regular adult.
Specifically an old man.
Okay.
Okay, this is quite funny. So, as written, do we have firearms in this game?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. With 1 minute of preparation, you can craft a poison and apply it to one weapon. On the bullet.
You can poison bullets.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's difficult, but you can do it.
You can do it because you're a fucking ninja. Yeah.
Boy.
That's if you pick that exploit, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's fun.
Do I want to do that?
You might pick
Oh,
Death
kinda
Strike
have to do
instead.
that.
See, but then...
For instance, I'm just
Right. That's what I'm thinking, like, yes.
Or you could take Ninja twice and pick Poison and Death Strike, for instance. Right.
Yeah, we'll do that.
float these out there for anybody who needs them.
There's just a little sheet out here that gives example skills, just in case you're having trouble thinking of them. Like it says, like, oh, pick a technical skill. You can just look on that and go, oh, there's an example.
Let's see. That strike is awesome, but then make an attack rolling using your chi attribute. How are we doing that? Because that doubling the damage on the first surprise attack, that sounds
We're
great.
not doing chi stuff.
But how do you want to roll it? Like if I because okay, once per day you may strike once per day, right? That's already brutal. Well, you can read it and just tell me is it worth taking or not.
Okay, well, obviously because you've taken ninja, your chi goes up by 1.
Right.
So right
Well,
now your chi attribute should be 1.
my chi attribute now is 3
Oh, because you're
because
origin.
martial artist and 2
Yeah.
ninja
Okay,
careers.
so let me clarify. If the mechanic says you can use your chi to like make fireballs or like
Right.
blow up somebody's liver
Do
with
actual
their mind,
magic.
that shit is not. We're not doing
Right,
that.
right.
But this is an example of where okay, your chi is just making you
But
better
then-
at attack. That's
but,
fine.
But then, okay,
You know
I have 3 in my chi.
Yeah.
But if I were to strike him with my agility, say, or even strength, that
What's
would be
what's your agility?
8.
Your agility attribute is 8.
Yeah.
You'd be rolling 3d6. What's your chi attribute? Is it 3?
3.
You'd be rolling 2d6 instead.
3d6 for an 8?
Yeah, it goes all the way up to 9.
Bad.
You gotta have 10 to do 4d6.
Okay.
They big.
So if you pump your chi up enough, and you could
Yeah.
instead use that rather than agility,
True. That's not gonna happen.
or if it's equal to your agility, you can always do this. Try to once per day, like arrange yourself in that particular situation and get double damage.
So 4, right?
Hmm?
You pick 4
Or what?
careers.
One of the bottom one is spy, but yes.
Yeah.
Origin,
Origin,
career, spy.
Oh, I skipped one. Okay, I can do one more. Cool. All right.
Yeah, you should have 5 grades total.
I was doing
1,
4
2, 3,
total.
4, 5.
Okay, so I can pick one more. Okay, cool.
Well, origin is your number 1.
I know.
Yeah.
But I have 4 total instead of 5 total.
Yes, you should have 5 total,
Okay, cool.
including your origin.
Okay, all right. Well, I need to roll this. 16.
Okay.
All over the place.
Oh my god.
Well rounded though. That's kind of nice.
I really want to take this ability, but if it's gonna play out, it's gonna be great. But probably will never be even in the game with that strike. Like once per day. And the creature that I'm attacking has to be not aware of my presence. Or to be, you know, like, oh, that's a friend. When does that ever be possible?
You're disguised.
Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna take it anyway. It's too cool, not just too cool to pass.
Now, again, keeping in mind as you're constructing your character, you may get into a situation where your attribute plus your skill bonus is giving you like 6d6 or 7d6.
Yeah.
Your grade 5, you can only roll 5 of those.
Okay.
So
Makes
you're
sense.
so you're kind of wasting those extra.
You do want to be somewhat well rounded.
Exactly. So you're encouraged to kind of like, instead of hyper specialized, to spread out a little bit. Yes.
So I picked guerrilla warfare, whatever it is. The guerrilla.
Is that an exploit or a career?
It's a career.
It's career.
Can I was thinking that, like, for my last one before I was a spy, what if I was captured by the enemy and took the prisoner along?
Oh, damn, you're doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Damn it.
Again,
Those
No.
stupid creative people
Like, how do we do this, though? For
always
real?
think alike.
We'll still end up with different characters.
Is it okay, though? Like, I'm just asking.
you
if
can
that's-
pick literally anything. You could
Okay, I
pick.
just wanted to make sure.
Can
You
you
could
tell
pick
me
gymnast
what-
like full time. That's what I'm
what
saying. Like, you could be a firefighter and then a spy suddenly. Like, I don't care.
Woof, I was
Vital
captured
defense,
for 12 years.
defensive
And then,
skills are
as a spy, you become a
For how many?
firefighter.
vital defensive skills.
Oh, nice.
Fortitude.
Nice, guess what? Guess how many? Guess how many?
Give me a second.
Were you in prison 12 years?
I
Survival.
was in prison for 12
Resistance. Those are.
Okay, survival may actually.
How do we keep doing this?
I need somebody to switch me seats. Steven and I are somehow getting, like,
On the same
hyperlinked up.
mental wavelength of character creation.
I'm sorry. I don't know
RNGs.
how
I
this-
went to college, you went to boot camp. There's the difference.
Okay, cool.
Yep. We still have a very different character.
Awesome. Are you okay, babe? Do you need a headache medicine or something?
I'm fine.
Do you want our dog shut up?
Yes.
So, do we get one universal exploit or just the aim or
You get
parry?
one, and you get aim or feign.
Don't pay attention to anything that I'm about to say to Lance.
Okay.
Because Lance is going ahead. Lance. You pick aim or feint. You pick one of those, right? Whichever one you want. And then you get one universal exploit. Right? So you should, from that step, you should have two, right? Like aim and then
Something.
something else. In addition to the exploits you got from, your heritage, your careers.
Because I think I know.
So that makes sure that everybody has at least aim or feint, right?
Mhm.
Which will help them do a hit or evade, respectively. Right?
Oh, come on. Leon.
Alright, so one of my exploits says against grants me a +2 natural soak. Does that stack with other soaks?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because it's natural, right?
Because it does say +2. If it just said 2, it wouldn't stack.
Yes.
Okay.
So I
That's my
almost want to
understanding.
go to soldier because soldier gets like +2 as well, and so there's like a lot of other things. Oh, come on, phone, quit lagging.
What is an Eastern weapon?
Katana, nunchucks.
There's a list of
The
them.
the hook swords.
Yeah,
Matsus.
like anything that you
What
see
are-
a ninja or a samurai
What are
wielding
the
in a
odds
movie.
that I will have one of those?
You may go out in
To
the
start
field
with?
one of those.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You go to the mall and
Right.
you get some mall
but
ninjas.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, look, later you're going to have like $500 to spend on your equipment that
a
you're starting
sword.
with.
Okay.
So maybe you do buy a sword. You know?
Because
up to you.
if I won't have a sword, why would I get that? But I want that.
I think it's $500.
What?
So at least I think it's $500.
Actually, you roll your luck and your reputation pools, and you times that by 20.
Ah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
So, yeah, you do not get a lot of starting money.
Ugh. Quit freezing on me, PDF.
It was designed to freeze.
Wait, what? Okay. Explain, because I'm not really
Keeps it
familiar with the
preserved.
system.
There we go.
When using any Eastern weapon,
Mm-hmm.
you gain one free unarmed melee attack whenever you make 2 weapon attacks.
So you can make 2 weapon attacks.
Are
per
we
turn.
naturally doing 2 weapon attacks per turn?
You can.
You can. You don't have to, but you can.
Do you have 2 actions per?
Yeah, you have 2 actions per turn, and you can use them to do various things.
Okay.
You could spend both actions to attack, again, with your melee weapon. Once
So then you would get 3 attacks.
Then you get another attack that you could just punch into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or whatever.
Just punch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
I guess.
You can do it. Why are you freezing up?
Okay, spy. Teacher.
You're like right there.
Student.
Yeah, it's right there.
There it is.
Oh, come on. I see what it is. It's my phone making sure I'm not going too far ahead.
Mm-hmm. Trying to slow you down, Liz.
It's
sometimes
rubber
you gotta
banding me.
It is my plus 1.
Instead of pulling everybody forward, it's pulling me back. I loved when I first discovered rubber banding in like games. That it was a thing that developers did. Oh,
Yep.
wow. So that's
Was it a racing game? Because I
most
feel like
definitely.
that's where you
It's
see
what
it.
happens, yeah.
Mm.
You start seeing of like, oh, there's like natural rubber bands of like Mario Kart.
So you can
better items
only
when
replace
you're
one of the
in the
skills
world.
with a defensive skill, not both of
Not
them.
just
The wording seems to imply that you can replace one of them
Okay.
with a defensive.
They want you to be an active character, I suppose.
Well, I don't know. Who cares? Just if you want to pick 2 defensive skills, then fine. Just do it.
Do the thing.
just do it.
So cinnamon swirl.
It is cinnamon swirl bread. Thank you, Jason.
Very nice.
Might be a little soft because I just got it out of the oven, so it's still like warm.
So I am 18 years old. Is that an acceptable age?
Nice.
At the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're an adult. Yes.
Good
Because
enough.
so people
You can die
say.
for your country.
Yep.
And depending on state, you can drink right now. I think.
Well, you're going to be in West Africa, so they don't really give a shit about it.
That's
You're in the military, drink anyways, right?
You're also part of a spy organization, so they don't care. Either.
Drinking is required at
Sometimes.
at some points.
Oh, I like this. Golden gun.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
Not
everybody's caught
actually
up
made
'cause
of gold.
That'd be very heavy.
Yes, it would.
Very impractical too.
Yeah.
it's a little too soft. It would
Can you tell me how many skill points you
deform
need to
pretty
have
fast.
to be able to use a high quality weapon effectively?
Since this is cinematic mode, that's not a thing.
Oh, we're doing cinematic?
Yes.
That's great.
Sometimes, if you want to use like high quality equipment or better,
Mhm.
your skill has to be at a certain rank. Since you're doing cinematic mode, which is better for this kind of play, we're ignoring that. So as soon as you pick up if it's equipment that you know how to use,
You know how to use it.
you know how to use it. Cool. So if you happen to find like, I don't know, a masterwork, pistol in the field or something like that, it's incredibly unlikely, but you could just use it. You wouldn't have to worry about your skill. Even if you barely understood pistols, you could still use it and get the same mechanical benefit.
What is the mechanical benefit of a high quality pistol?
It's plus 1d6 to your dice pool whenever you're using it.
Does that count as an exploit? Is that limited by cap?
No, that counts as equipment.
So
It's always skill, it's an attribute, skill, equipment. That's the cap, and then you add stuff.
All right.
Oh, then okay. So like
I'll
exploits
probably need it.
would
Can go
add
with the
to-
cap.
Okay. That was about to be my question. For all of these.
That's why the exploits,
Happen after.
That's why the exploits they
Can be
they
super
differentiate
beneficial.
you from other players who may have the same kind of build as you. You've picked a different exploit, so at the end they may still be rolling 5d6 because of an exploit. You're rolling 6d6. Right now it's pretty abstract. It'll make sense in play.
If you say so.
Everything makes sense so far.
Do you have a pencil sharpener?
Uh huh.
I
So
remember
there
it
on
was
the
somewhere.
yeah, it's across from the coffee maker.
It's right here.
Okay, got my careers. Let's write in d6s for this one. Let's see, that's 2, 4,
Matt, that's wrong. Retainers are not in.
3,
Haven't brushed your hair.
3,
Yeah, I'll work.
2, 3, 1.
So what's the table for? Dice pools.
It's, I don't know what
And you
they
can
just
just look at this. From
But basically, it's
That
1 or
column.
2 is 1d6, 3 and 4 is 2d6, 5 to 9 is 3d6, and
big
10
value.
through 14
6 through 9.
is 14.
yeah. Just look at that.
Yeah, 6 through 9 is.
Some big valley there.
That's not what it says in the book. And this.
Oh no. Which is the misprint?
It seems like 6 through 9 is a pretty.
6 through 9 is 3d6. Yeah, that's what it says in the book. On the top of page 17, dice granted by attribute/skill score.
So 2, 3, 2.
Like, throws everything off.
3, 2, 2, 2,
I guess we should put everything off.
3.
Just that.
Jason, I think she's ready for bed.
Oh, I guess I was looking at something else when I was looking at that, because I didn't look at this one.
So really, if you only have a 2 in a skill, it'd be almost better to get 1 in a skill,
Yeah.
since you'll still get 1 dice.
Out of there. Step it down a bit.
Since I don't think we'll do advancement.
No.
But that's if you want a munchkin.
But who wants munchkinning? Those people. Min-maxing. Hate those.
Stupid role players.
I know. Ugh. Sick of them.
The worst.
That hard bounce.
Oof.
Nothing but min-maxers and grognards.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Done with my careers.
yeah, done with that. Should I go ahead and apply the old character traits?
No, not yet.
Cool.
Oh, you know what I forgot? The spy.
Because we will have an old and a young.
Yeah, your last career. is
Interesting.
spy.
It's enough.
Oh boy.
After you've picked your careers, you need to pick aim or feint as an exploit. And then you can pick another universal exploit of your choice. You gotta qualify for it, of course.
Yeah.
There's
Guessing there's a
prerequisites.
list of those
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's you gotta keep on scrolling.
Okay.
It should be right after all of the the career
Exploits
options.
65.
65. Go in there.
That also tells you what aim and feint
Do.
do, respectively.
Okay, that was a big good. 61. Oh, they don't quite line up, do they?
How did I read that
60.
wrong?
Oh,
wrong
golden
like
gun.
7 times?
The brain
it's,
is a magical
It's a
thing.
small
Print.
difference.
Font.
You know what I mean? Like it's a difference of one digit. I mean, one number. It's easy to make that mistake.
Arranged on
Okay, what did you guys get for your spy feats?
Reading gun.
I mean, that's right.
I picked up false identity and monologue.
Okay.
So you took spy twice?
I was a
How about
spy,
you?
then I went to prison, or then I got captured, and then I was a spy again.
Nice.
So,
What did you get?
Um,
I'm an old
Testing about your exploit in the spy career.
There's actually
What
a
did you
really
get?
funny thing about picking criminal ones. You gotta roll a d6, and if you roll 1, you have to pick prisoner for your next one.
nice.
well, let's see. So are you you're
Shunk.
talking about the
The
parts underneath their exploits?
the exploits.
Like
yeah.
golden gun.
False identity.
false
or-
identity,
and you
prison.
pick 2?
No, you pick
Oh,
one.
Pick
one,
one.
one,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Unless
fine.
you took the career more than once.
Okay, alright, cool. Okay.
You do that for every career. You pick the one exploit.
I hadn't picked one for spy yet.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I was going to pick the right amount
Yeah.
before I did that.
Now, all of these careers you picked, including the origin, are at grade 1, which means that your total should be 5. Does that make sense?
Unless you took one more.
Unless you took it multiple times. Since you took spy twice, you could just list spy once and say it's grade 2. Does that make sense?
You see a dice one over
The way that the character sheet
here?
works.
Sure, black one.
just
but-
running it with like.
But if you want to just
Yeah,
list it
that's
top to
fine.
bottom,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Just-
4, 5, and just do it.
Have it tell that story.
Just know not to add up the grades
Do you
together.
have action equipment listed somewhere or like
Do I have
listed
what?
out? Action equipment,
Action equipment?
or yeah, it says cube wrench. You start play with the one gadget from a choice from action equipment.
Yeah, that's the equipment section of the book. It's after, like, everything else.
Oh,
I can tell you where it is.
Get some pets to get close. You understand? I hope you do. One of these days, you know, it's hard to pet you when you
Vehicles.
can get your head a little.
Gadgets. There we go.
you can just tell me the page.
Let's see here. 125.
Thank you.
You just need all the attention. All of it. There's so many people here, somebody has to pay you attention, right? You're owed zero life.
Gadgets.
Right here.
Okay.
These scriptures.
Brilliant phone. Industrial laser.
Yeah, and your watch or something?
I don't think you can have a brilliant phone in this setting.
No, you can't have a brilliant phone in this setting because it's 1989.
A rocket pack.
I mean, it was in those early James Bond, right?
It was in From Russia with Love, which took place in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Pen gun.
Oh boy.
I mean, good luck walking around the country with a rocket pack structure. but,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking that.
By the way, I took off the grid.
Off the grid.
I took Miraculous Escape.
I was
Nice.
thinking about either of those.
Because my origin is survivor, and then I took explosive expert twice.
Yeah.
And scout. I'm kind of I'm an off the grid kind of person.
Yeah, I'm the same kind of guy.
Did you take
But for
Prison
other
Tough,
reasons.
Or did you take Shiv?
Shiv.
I took Prison Tough.
See, we'll still have different
Yeah, as
characters.
I say.
Just surprisingly similar at times.
But I got home cooking and shape charge. So
You got cooking too?
home cooking, aka with explosives.
Oh. Oh. I
I
thought
was like, what the fuck, you're shut. No, okay. I get
There
it.
it
Oh.
is.
See,
Yeah.
I got actually just cooking.
It's the burn notice. I'm making thermite out of home materials
Okay.
to scare people, but I'm melting their engine block.
That is pretty frightening.
Yeah.
Especially if you hook it up so the starter starts the thermite.
No. He literally put it like on the hood of the car, and then lit it, and it just melted straight through.
Yeah. I was thinking you do that where you like prep it beforehand.
They were at like
So
a
it's-
stoplight.
Oh, nice. Just right.
They were in the car.
Nice.
That's. But that is a good idea. Hook it up to the starter.
So when they're starting the car, it's just a spout of flame, and then your engine will start and then stop, and then probably explode.
That is pretty effective too. But
Okay.
they
They're
were doing a
both
scare. It was a pretty good scare tactic of like they're in the car and they're at a stoplight. You can't get me now.
Now I'm done.
Yep.
With, at least with the careers. 15.
You're able to donate one or more of your luck dice to another character as a free reaction to their attempt to their attempting an attribute check.
Bear hug.
Bear hug.
Bear hug is nice. Reminds me of our last game.
The Starfinder. Yeah.
How did it end, by the way? Where I was a bear?
Cleared things out pretty much. Like, I think 2 of them got away.
Yeah, we killed
that's
one
about it.
side and
The other
two-
side's like, time to go.
Peace
Yeah.
out.
Oh.
Yep. I mean, they didn't have anybody to fight anymore.
Can you blame them?
Nope.
No. When people show up and start ruining both of your days, it's time to go.
So what's next after careers?
Donate one or more luck dice.
Did you choose your universal?
You pick
Exploit.
aim or feint as an extra exploit.
It basically gives you 1d6 to the attack, aim being for ranged attacks, feint being for melee attacks.
Oh,
So you
okay.
pick aim or feint, whichever one you want, and then you pick another exploit for free. Just well, you
Just
got to
for free.
qualify for it, whatever it is. But
You're demanding people come to you when there are people Leon.
Like, Jason's literally on the floor. What's your deal, man?
Everything is Leon's deal.
What pages for exploits? I lost everything.
I think it's around 71.
71.
71 in the PDF page numbering, 66 in their actual on-page page numbering.
I got it, thank you.
For further confusion.
Oh boy. They actually have stances for
Oh, for the chi.
chi.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're not doing that though.
No,
That's just a lot of stuff to remember.
yeah. So you're saying I should either get like +1 to range or melee?
You pick aim or feint, which does basically.
I will do the.
It says specifically in the exploits page like what they do, but that's essentially it boils down to that.
Yeah. And it takes an action to do it.
Because you're aiming or feinting.
Oh,
It's like a thing you do.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just maybe it was good.
Young.
Okay. Now what?
So you picked aim or feint, and you picked another universal exploit.
Exploit.
After that, if I'm remembering correctly,
You do age.
pick a trait based on your highest or lowest attribute.
And there's a chart for that.
What page are you at? 69?
74/69.
Yeah.
Since PDFs can be weird like that.
Just got some leading pages.
So pick your highest or your lowest attribute, whatever that may be, and then figure out what traits you have from the chart based on that. If your highest attribute is a strength and you have it at a 5 or a 6, you get brawny, which means you gain a 40 pounds to your carrying capacity.
I suppose that means if it's above a 6, you can also choose that, right?
I assume so, yeah.
Because my agility is at 10.
Okay.
Oh, well, technically you can choose from the list. Those numbers are there just to roll a d6 to do it randomly. So if you pick strength as your highest attribute, you could pick massive or athletic or brawny.
Oh,
Doesn't matter what the actual
Okay.
score is.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. After you've done that trait business, then you should have a total age, because you rolled age for every career that you were in, your origin. And then you figure out, like,
If you're young or old.
you can add extra years, right, if you want to do that. But basically, you figure out if you're young, adult, or old. If you're young, you have certain things, right? If you're old, you have certain things. Most of you should be around an adult age, which is somewhere between 18 and, you know.
Young is under 25.
59.
Ah,
Yeah. It's a,
I'm 30, so I'm an adult.
yeah.
Oh,
They put young pretty high.
okay. Character. It says here characters under 26 or young.
Yep.
I misread that.
Do you want to take the doggy out and see if he will shut up?
He must suffer.
I mean, he probably needs to go out, so I'll just put him
Yeah,
out.
it's a building dice pool.
Should we get you in?
extra luck dice, but I do get the exploding d6s once a day.
Oh boy. I don't know what that does.
It means if you roll a 6, you get to roll it again and all that.
Oh wow.
On top of that.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, how do we figure out the health and soak to that matter?
You're going to take your endurance dice pool.
Mm-hmm.
What's your endurance stat?
8.
You have 3d6.
Okay.
Then your willpower dice pool.
That's 5.
You have 2d6 for that.
Okay.
And then your luck. What's your luck score?
7.
That you have 3d6.
But
As a cinematic mode, you had luck.
So 3.
And then you add those together.
Then you roll all those dice,
oh,
and that's your health.
Oh, okay. Let's see how bad or good I do. Oh, this is painful.
If for some reason you have less than 10 as your health, just go to 10.
We should talk about that.
Some of us have quote unquote amazing luck. Endurance,
Math.
will, and luck.
10, 19, 22, 24.
And luck.
Great. I mean, I rolled S, but still. Okay, soak. This is like
Average-ish.
there must be an armor or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's depending on the armor that you wear, or some people have, depending on something they picked, a natural soak.
Right.
And that's exactly what it sounds like. It reduces damage.
Average, yeah. I rolled the same.
If you are an adult or an old character, you get an extra luck dice, by the way,
Really?
which counts to your health.
if you're
Adult or
you-
old.
you get an extra one if you're old.
For luck?
Oh yeah, you technically get 2 if you're old.
Sweet. That bumps my luck.
Yes, if you're an adult
Yeah.
between the ages of 26 and
Oh.
I am.
whatever,
Yeah.
then you get an extra luck dice.
So just like another rank in it?
Like
No.
dice?
Like if your luck, what's your luck score?
8.
Normally that would be 3d6.
Uh-huh.
Your luck is now 46,
46. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and that factors into your health
Right.
Okay.
because you're rolling your endurance, your willpower, and your luck pools all together.
Wow.
Adding those together to get your health.
Okay, so what's the scores? 3 is 1
3 is 2d6.
2d6. 4
2d6.
2d6. 5 is
2d6. 3 to 5 is 2d6.
okay. 7 is 4. 8 is 3. 10.
10 is 4d6. Yeah, so
6, 7, 8, 9 are all 3?
6, 7, 8, 9 are all 3d6.
Okay. So I have a reputation of 2. Would that be 1d6?
Yes.
Speed.
And are skills done the same way?
Speed. And your flank
What?
speed.
Are skills done the same
Yes.
way?
Speed is equal to your strength dice pool plus your agility dice pool. You may also have your running
I
dice
swear to
pool.
God, Leon.
You have that skill.
Wait, dice pool?
Yeah, like 2d6, 3d6, that's your pool.
Whoa.
So are these capped as well? Or derived statistics? I know it is for the defenses because I actually read that part, and I'm pretty sure I read it right.
But do we roll it, or does it just like for example, we're looking at speed.
It's equal to the size of your strength dice pool plus your agility dice pool. So if your strength dice pool is 2d6 and your agility is 3d6, your speed would be 5. Because it's 2
Okay,
to 3.
okay, cool.
That makes sense.
Oh, it's thieves. It's not breed, it's thieves.
Same album.
Okay.
It is same album. Man, I love the ministry.
Seven. That should be yeah, that. Oh no.
A little confusing with defenses. All 4 scores have a minimal value of 10.
Yeah, so if they would be below 10, you just set them at 10.
So there's a little graph down here.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Shows your total pool,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you a numerical value, and that's your score.
But where do the D6s come from?
Well, it's like if it depends on the defense.
For melee defense, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
you would use whichever is higher out of your strength or your agility.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And so what's highest out of that for you?
Agility.
What is agility?
10.
Which means that it is a...
46.
Okay, so 46 would be 14.
14.
Yep.
Okay.
But you can also add acrobatics to that.
Where do you get the acrobatics part?
Acrobatics.
Oh,
dodging,
I see.
or foresight.
Okay. Oh boy.
That's a skill.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, defensive skills, right.
What that does is it's an average number, essentially. It's like, okay, what if you rolled 46 a million times?
Right.
Or whatever your total dice pool is for your attribute, the skill if you have it, and equipment. And it basically says, like, here's the target number, you gotta be...
But this
Meter
is
beat.
capped by the pool.
Sure.
So, I have acrobatics. Do I add it to
You add the dice pool.
ranged defenses? As
Yes,
well?
yes, it works for
Mhm.
ranged defenses as well.
Yeah. They could apply it to melee and ranged defense.
charisma. And that's 3d6. Religion. Yeah, that's why I took so much religion. Vitals, endurance. Oh, sad.
Okay. Equip your character.
So what about perception and action?
What about them?
What do we put there?
Oh, so what are you talking about?
On the character sheet, I think.
Like perception would be, you know, it's just a pool that you can jot down your common thing instead of always having to add attribute and skill together or something.
And what are we using as a... is it intellect?
Intuition.
Intuition.
Intuition, right.
And actions, I guess, you could just put your current pool cap, I guess, for instance. Which for grade 5 is 5d6.
And we're using not the actual stat, but the pools of, like, 3d6.
Well, the stats determine the pools. Basically, you don't have to pay attention to the stats right now. You're just doing pools.
Just the pools, okay.
The stats determine the pools, but then later in play, the stats are not really important. You know what I mean?
Okay. Seems...
Can I borrow a d6?
Okay.
So the perception thing is just if you want to not roll it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, come on. Stupid thing, why are you flashing that out? And I'll flash on, and I'll flash off. Flash on, flash on.
Did you download it?
Oh, no. That's actually 18.
So do we roll for how much money do we get to start with? Or...
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm gonna cry right now.
It's your total times 20.
Okay, it's not that bad. Well, no, it's exactly the average. Oh,
15.
lucky.
So rep and luck. Another advantage to being old.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter, still par.
Yeah, you really... I think the most you could possibly get is having a dice pool like 6d6.
That's why I'm rolling.
And most you can get is like 600 off of that.
Which I definitely didn't get.
What? Oh, here we go.
I mean, it's pretty decent. I'll give it that. That's not too bad.
Oh.
Let's see if this is possible now.
Back when people carried cash. A credit card.
Not that much I can buy you guys.
Gotta be pretty picky.
And I'm just looking at the weapons. Tiger fork.
Yes, I cannot buy a gun made in the 20th century.
I can just buy an M79 grenade launcher. Oh, I could get a Ruger Service 6. Or nice, a Tech 9 machine pistol. But that's almost all my money.
Go with Tech 9.
It's a classic, yeah.
It's good for your econ rounds.
Find them everywhere.
It's one of the major guns used in Counter-Strike for economy rounds.
Yeah.
Because it's super cheap in that game.
Yeah, when you just need to get through and get a
Try to get some kills, steal their guns.
cheap enough, but still good enough.
You just need to get some headshots. What page is the... Wow.
It's lighter.
I didn't see soap.
Yeah, where's the soap?
That's
Gotta stay clean. Those
Soap.
D&D classics.
Did I miss soap somewhere? I don't know how to calculate it.
you
have to
gain
get
in,
it.
Armor.
Oh, right. Duh.
Either like backgrounds or armor and stuff.
I mean, I got a Kevlar vest in my
Yeah,
background.
that gives you like 2 soap. I think.
What's the or two
That's
samurai
another
swords,
mystery
right?
song.
One is katana. What's the other one?
Wakasashi. The Daishio set.
350. Jesus Christ!
They're pricey.
Oh,
New World Order.
calmly it is.
You don't know him,
How do you say it's, yeah.
14, 15 times 20.
It's 300. That's what I got too.
Thank you.
That's my range.
I wouldn't have bothered taking a golden gun if I didn't like, one good gun. It was,
Still
maybe.
pick one up.
I need two.
Well, need is a strong word.
No, I actually need two to be able to use everything that I picked. Let's pick other stuff first.
Hang
Oh, Tech 9 or Makaton?
Walkie-talkie. Do we need walkies?
Were you able to buy any guns, Robert?
I can buy ones made in the 1800s.
Nice.
Cool.
Because those are fairly cheap. I do get one for free, though.
Which is not bad.
How did you get one for free?
I took the golden gun thing from Spy.
If I'd known that was the only way I was going to be able to afford a gun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have done that too.
True. Oh boy, there's a lot of options there. Oh. Just the picture. They're so expensive.
Oh, there's a
Yeah, no.
Leah.
Actually. Let's see something.
like Smith & Wesson is.
The what?
Smith & Wesson.
Oh yeah.
Victory
Classic one.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to take all my money.
Was side-eyeing that one.
How much are those?
300.
Yeah.
Please. Armor upgrade.
I'm gonna go.
Whoa.
Might go with the Webley though.
Ooh. Put spikes on mine.
Yeah, let's do that. Wait. My health's not that good.
Ooh, you can buy a tank. That's nice. But I like that someone actually thought about it and put it in the book.
Gave it that effort.
Vehicles upgrades. So.
Phone charger.
Wait, what's the weight on us? 50.
Alright, that's up real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Beretta.
Just buy a whole bunch of Colt single action armies. That's all you need. Colt Peacemakers. $18 each. Bang, 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 bang. Toss them all.
Okay, so what do we need from like a toolkit items? Like,
I've got a flashlight, a cassette recorder, and a briefcase along with a revolver. Figure that'll probably cover things.
Is that stuff under the armor?
Above. Equipment's the first thing you get
First?
to.
yeah.
Oh, dang it.
I didn't bother with armor. We'll see how this goes.
Okay. Flak jacket's pretty cheap, like $90.
I don't have that cash if I'm getting a gun. Without going like literal Western revolvers. In which case you could have a backpack full of them. Which is weird to me.
Because
That gun actually weighs 45
or
pounds.
it's like 60.
Which one?
The Colt Walker Dragon, it weighs 45 pounds.
4.5. It's a very stylized point that
Oh.
looks like the continuation of the 4 on the back. Oh yeah. That's a revolver.
Yeah.
Literal hand cannon.
Quit messing up on me.
How much is that? 20. regular gear now. But I got weapons and
Okay. I don't know, man. Do I need to go back and take the golden gun thing so I can buy other things?
I mean, it's either that or you go and you get yourself like a Western revolver.
That's like I literally have a Smith and Wesson right now.
Yeah.
A lot of ministry in this playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, this is Nine Inch Nails. How stupid am I? Same era. Same genre too.
of course, if you do have the golden gun thing, you could actually take an anti-tank weapon.
I mean, 350, you get a grenade launcher. I don't know if that comes with grenades, but it's pretty threatening, right?
It's pretty cheap for the guns. Like,
I mean, it makes some sense. Like, the actual grenade launcher is pretty
yeah,
simple.
a lot of their mechanisms, it's pretty simple.
A lot of it is the fact that it's like, it's an explosive shell that you're dealing with that's very expensive and illegal for your standard your citizen to own.
Most of them are still using like the revolver style
If even that, like the
reloading, or the single cartridge.
yeah M79 I think is your breech single cartridge.
Yeah. So there's a lot less mechanisms
Yep. Nice and simple.
versus your gas-powered auto reload.
Yeah. Cylinder blowback.
Come on. Look at the price.
Right?
Yeah.
Gotta look at the price first.
Says no to a lot of options when you do.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just gonna try not to get shot. We'll see how that goes.
I'm just gonna have to take.
I got
fucking
pretty good
golden gun.
defenses, so,
Okay.
and a good soak.
If someone will
I
stop
spent
me,
a lot of money on armor.
if someone will stop me and search my backpack, they'll have a lot of questions because there are like rope, handcuffs, and camera.
No, you're having
Hey,
a good evening.
hey,
That's all.
what you do in your spare time is
We don't
nobody's
shame.
business. Okay?
Excuse me, sir.
Is it
Can
just
I
like
More
red
likely they're gonna be
velvety rope?
like, "Can I join you?"
Right.
There you go.
So what else can I add to that?
That way they can bring more handcuffs.
Right. Right.
Are they
And
fuzzy
perhaps-
handcuffs or
perhaps
regular?
different ropes.
Regular.
Less chafing.
There you go. Yeah.
So what's the difference between 35mm and digital camera? Like film or not film?
I imagine the digital camera is not available in the
Yeah,
setting.
I would assume
It
so.
can't be.
Yeah.
Like, not really.
It's one of those things where I think we were on to digital cameras fairly early.
Television mostly.
Yes. And it
Yeah.
just took a while for the.
You're supposed to take
And
long-
that's when
when I-
TV was
Bye.
super grainy, whereas film was a lot more crisp because the digital quality was awful.
It just took a.
I get it. You like Steven more than me. Just go home. Okay, it's fine.
I just try to shut him up by petting him, and that's turned into "you better pet me or I won't shut up."
I'll
And
whine, yeah.
I negotiated with a terrorist, and this is what happens.
I mean, he's a very cute terrorist.
Okay, I have $80 left.
You got
What-
me.
What else can I think of?
Do you have armor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have so much
You're lucky. You get free armor. It's not the
I
best,
have
but
melee range defense.
Pretty solid.
Let me put it this way. How much do you have in melee and range defense?
Not great.
18.
Like 10 each.
I have 18.
I'm at 26.
I used to get 26.
Because I'm a ninja.
Oh, you get extra?
I mean, I put down my die pools. I haven't rolled like.
I have agility of 10, starting that.
It's a weird, like, you add the die pools together, and
Yeah.
that gives you a
And
effectively an
Or 10.
average.
Yeah.
Or a 10.
Or
Yeah, we're at
10.
10. Yeah. So I've
Like,
got
and it
I've
just
got a lot of
means
10s and two
Yeah.
11s.
Yeah, if you got 3 dice, you get an 11. That's a little one extra.
Well, I have 5 dice and 5 dice in vital defense.
So that should be an 18.
Oh, nice.
I have also. I took 3 acrobatics.
And there are
Yeah, to
applicable
defense.
skills.
It's capped at 5, so you can't go above 5.
Oh, I can go above 5?
You can't.
Oh boy. So what's the max then?
Without a specific trait would be what? 3's 11, 4's 14, 5 is 18.
Yeah.
So it'd be 18 and then whatever bonuses you get from like a trait. So if you have a trait that says
Yeah.
plus
yeah,
4 to defense, then
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I get a +1 to mental for being a prisoner.
Aw.
oh nice, yeah, you did
Crushed
prison
all my
tough.
dreams,
Yeah.
you guys. Well, that sucks.
Isn't it mental and a physical?
I thought it was just mental defense. I'm gonna have to go
I'd
back
have to
and
go
check.
back.
What?
I mean,
That's
both
not
make
fair.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, especially since I was in prison for 12 goddamn years, apparently. Not in prison. I was like
That's
prisoner of
unfortunate.
war type shit. You
Yeah,
know?
POW.
Yeah. For part of the military, they don't like to admit
I
it
don't.
exists.
Do I want
You
to
know.
pick up another
Yup.
weapon?
You're a deniable asset.
So how do I know which one's a high quality rifle I can pick for my gold gun? Do I just pick which one I like, or what?
Well, high quality is just
High quality means you get an extra
D6,
D6
right?
to attack, and it also has the extra D6 to damage.
Okay,
Wow.
but I already
Great.
get it, or still have to pay for it.
No, you get it.
you get it.
So I just pick
Yep.
Yeah,
a gun.
yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, you can take that big ass machine gun that's an anti-tank weapon.
It's not really so like easy to carry
Good luck
around.
walking around with that,
I
though.
know, right? I'm gonna wear a really big coat, guys.
We're supposed to be spies?
That's how we get our information. Is if we have a huge ass gun, everyone just tells us what we want. If they're not too busy going and running the
yes.
opposite direction,
The Teddy Roosevelt approach.
walk softly, carry a big stick.
Exactly.
I really want a pistol.
Is this the new 9-inch Nails sword?
Let me look.
It's pulling from the 80s, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's new.
But yeah, but 9-inch Nails put out a new album like the last year or so, and so it might pull that
Okay.
because it's
I don't know.
That's what I get from 9.
I would assume it's like a custom.
It's Pretty Hate Machine.
There you go.
Do I want this road?
I don't think Pretty Hate Machine is new.
Yes, because she can be into bondage too.
yeah, I think that one's an older one. 89.
Is that when it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll stick the rocket launcher. It's fine.
Yeah.
All you need is one shot.
Okay, let's do this first. Let's see, 50, 9, 60, 69, 63, 67.
I took pistols, didn't I? Or rifles? I took rifles. Okay. Ha! We're just taking M16.
There you go.
Nice. After you set up on like weapons and armor, there's not that much you need else.
Let's
Grab
see.
some basic equipment, get a flashlight, maybe
Well-
spend some money on like a weapon modification.
Weapon modification.
You're pretty much limited to like a $50 illuminator, which is effectively a flashlight attached to the gun.
Oh yeah,
Pretty cheap.
I'm gonna attach it to my knife.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a searchlight on the
It's
knife.
duct taped.
67.
Oh, I love it. I love that for the. How many games have done that? It's the duct tape man.
Good number.
Like Resident Evil. If you like.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Do I need more than one set of handcuffs? Seriously.
You never
How
know.
many people are you planning on handcuffing?
There you go.
Just like a whole squadron, you know? You just need like 50. Just
Look, man,
Just
that's
bull
what
pop.
rope is for, okay?
I
I'm
know.
just
Hey,
saying.
you know what? If there were like butt plugs in this list, I would buy a couple. Just to have a whole set in my backpack.
Are you gonna get like Vaseline and go full hardcore
Hey,
creepy? Like,
is it here somewhere?
no, I hope not.
Did I miss it?
It's under interrogation tools.
Done.
Woof.
Thank you.
it's much better than like pliers, you know. For like,
Interrogation tool. Where is that?
Well, there is a toolkit, so just say it's
Yes.
interrogation tool.
Yes, that's the one. That's what I need.
just dentistry.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Interrogation kit. Awesome.
Actually, I should probably take the hunting rifle.
And again, like if you get
It's
caught,
conspicuous.
perfect alibi.
Or so you can take something small like an MP5. It's pretty small. You can fit that pretty easily in like a briefcase.
Is it the MP5K compact version?
HK MP5.
Where is that?
It doesn't typically include torture equipment, but some of the techniques can be unpleasant or extremely intrusive. So, yeah.
Well, like no, Scorpion's probably a sidearm, not a rifle.
I'd imagine. Yeah, VZ.
Super heavy.
Oh, my thing will not scroll right fast.
Actually go no false identity. That sounds.
Yeah, the M79 is the grenade launcher that like Arnold used.
The
Terminator.
6 rotating.
No, the one.
Just out of
The
curiosity, how much
M79 is like the single
like
cartridge
your
one
rifle?
that you used like in
The one I'm looking
T2
at,
against the liquid guy.
like
Or just, yeah.
500
I
to
actually know that because I
700.
actually wrote a story that used an M79 grenade launcher. Not where Tiger used it for hunting vampires.
Come on, you were getting pets over here, and then you leave and you whine and complain. I have to come back over here.
Yeah, those pictures really help because it's pretty odd that you actually recognize a lot of like the images a lot more than like the names.
Yeah.
Unless you like really get into certain topics. But I'm that way for cars. This is amazing for me to be able to be like, oh, that's what that looks like. Okay. Those prices though, holy cow!
Yeah, it's not so great. Maybe I'll do pistol instead. That might just be better for me.
Oh, geez, your old like aero car design.
Leon.
Yeah, they call that. So, oh, cool. Oh wow, the MP5 is super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
2,000. Woo!
Not buying those. Not happening.
I did not realize that'd be like that expensive. I guess if you're using the golden gun, that won't be.
Do I need to make more coffee, or are you guys okay?
I'm okay.
I'm finishing it.
Okay. Do you want more, Steven, or are you good?
I'm good. Thanks, so.
Cool, so I already have Kevlar. It's already stuck with 5. Might do. Do they stack?
No.
Oh, unless if it's.
Like if I have a... If I start with a uniform with Kevlar in it and then get a coat.
No, it does not stand.
Not in that way, but if you have like the exploit. The exploit would.
Now we just need, like, names and stuff.
Oh.
Yep. Buckle up for another 5 hours.
Oh.
I mean, if we just finish characters tonight and need to go home, we can always play next week. It's fine. Sunday? I don't know. People are probably going to be out of town and stuff. But...
I'll be out of town at least. Other people may be here though.
We just kind of assumed everybody would be, like, unavailable on Sunday.
There would be a couple people still around, but yeah, it'll be. Come on, come over here from Uncle's Rubs. Don't move. You can't just sit there and wag your tail. It's not gonna work.
Imagine he's just sitting there looking at you like, but I'm cute.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to look at me, but it's just my back. Liam, I'm not a teacher. I mean, I can hear you, but I don't see those glares, so it's pretty ineffective. Oh my, this PDF has hated me all night.
Ooh. Interesting mix.
Ooh, who's getting a fire extinguisher, guys?
I was thinking about it, but it's
Not bad.
Makes a
everybody
great
needs one of
melee
those.
weapon.
Oh, it does. Double duty, man.
I prefer more finesse or elegant, you know.
Yeah, that's what the tube's for. You swing it by the tube.
Okay,
It's like a very unbalanced nunchuck.
right. Half an
Very
uncheck.
effective.
So if I buy 2, they will balance each other.
And you get a great arm workout at the same time. You gotta really wind it up.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the edit of Bruce Lee using like nunchuck lightsabers?
No, I have not seen that.
It's pretty.
Oh
cool.
my god.
Oh, Bruce Lee.
Moves like water.
20, 40, 80, 120. 135, 140, 100. I'm sorry. 50.
Here you'll get pets, but you gotta come over here. So you just gotta understand. I don't know what it takes for you to understand.
I don't understand why my internet is so slow here.
I mean, you've got like 3 people using Wi-Fi. It's a dense populated area, so cell reception's going to be a little bit slower.
Sure.
It's like trying to use your wireless connection on campus. It's not going to happen.
Oh, pal.
Yeah. Which makes sense when you think about, well, okay, how many students are there?
Mm-hmm.
How many of those students have like 3 devices that are wirelessly enabled that are all fighting
Trying
for
to connect
an internet
at
connection?
the same time,
Yep. It is a logistical nightmare, one which I am surprised the system even holds up under the current stresses. Will this placate you or just make you demand more?
I can't remember. What are the differences between PAL 2 and PAL 3?
Just different names, so they don't
names.
overlap.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if they were like
different types.
different types of
think
network
so.
speeds or.
I mean, it'll be the same speed. It should be at different wavelengths. I
Okay.
think. You're
Like
like
2.4 versus the
versus a 5 usually or whatever it is. I can never
think
remember wireless stuff.
5.2 or something.
Yeah. But that way they don't interfere with each other, and theoretically you can send out more signals using roughly the same space in the spectrum.
Oh no, don't close entirely. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
That's fine. It's fine. It's great. It's fine.
Use the
Actually,
this thing.
closing it has actually helped my.
I haven't had
speed.
any issues like getting it to work. It's just scrolling. So much scrolling.
See, the problem was I couldn't scroll unless if I closed out the app and then scrolled while it was
Well,
blank.
I mean, you could totally use the iPad. It's like, G's done. Are you done?
Huh?
Are you done
Yes.
with the iPad? Lance, if you want to use that.
I'm pretty much done.
Okay.
Oh, flak jacket's only 60.
I didn't add my agent for being a spy. I should probably do that. 32. Hey, look at that. That's funny. 31. Really? Look at that. Okay. Do I actually have everything? That can't be right.
Name.
Ah, thank you.
There
I
it
knew it was
is.
freaking
Go for
something.
There it
Stu.
How
is.
do you calculate the attack? Is there like a simple formula?
It's
If it's melee, you're
Melee,
using
yes.
strength or agility.
Mm-hmm.
If it's range, you're using agility or intuition.
and
Let's
then
go with melee.
Okay, melee. Your
Range
agility
is-
is better, so use your
Mm-hmm.
Either
Agil-
intuition or agility.
So
I thought that's what it said.
Yeah.
my D6
ranged.
pool.
So it's be a 4d6 for agility, plus what skill are you using?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, depending on your weapon, you'd use a different skill.
Like,
Well, yeah,
if you're
melee-
punching
melee-
somebody in the face,
melee
okay,
attack,
so, you know, brawling, you would
Yes.
add that skill to
Or
it.
Okay.
martial arts.
Or,
Martial
yeah.
arts.
Like, that's why I took pistol, so when I do someone ranged weapon, I can actually use 66.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Caps at 5, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Still.
5d6 will be the max. Okay. After that,
Wait, well, if you use the golden gun, I think that would still go past the cap.
No,
That's just a damage, isn't it?
Because that's equipment.
equipment is included in the cap. Only exploits.
so I can never
I
roll
thought it
more
was
than
only the
5d6,
attributes.
right?
No, we already went
skills.
over this with Jason.
Yeah.
Equipment is included in the cap.
Because there's a bunch of other things that work.
Is there a way I can roll more than
Or is it more than just the
5d6?
exploits?
Not really.
No.
Oh.
Okay. So
Probably limited to exploits. We apparently need a hard ruling on if equipment is or isn't. I'll have to see if we can dig it up in the book again.
It might be right here. It's a little cheat sheet.
Please shut up, Leo. Tree, please.
You think it's a cheat sheet, but you're actually looking at the notes for the session.
Yes.
Different kind of cheat sheet.
It's the cheat sheet. The
Cheater, McCheaterson.
creator,
Not really.
the creation.
Meta cheating. The bad
No,
kind
he
of
bought
cheating.
this offline, so I don't think he has any credit off for the actual thingy.
His range attack is agility
Shush.
and
I paid attention to that one because it's what I'm going to use it most of the time.
Oh.
Although I did take brawling, so I won't suck too much if I need to punch somebody in the face,
Fingers crossed.
right?
Yep.
I'll be rolling 46 if I'm brawling, so
It's always good, right?
not bad. Could be worse. I've never had a character where luck is my highest one, though. Like,
Yeah, I'm tied luck and charisma, but because of being like old man, I get to boost the number of luck dice I use.
Yeah.
So that's like
I did have a three-way tie with agility, intuition, and luck, but then I'm an adult, so I get to add another one to luck.
are you like overly charismatic? Are you pushing that like?
I've got 8 in charisma.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
So
I have
that's,
8
what,
in luck
3?
and then
Yeah,
7
3.
in...
Yeah. Yeah, 8 in luck and charisma, and then 7 in intuition, and everything else is either a 5, a 4, or if it's reputation, a 2.
Yeah, 2 in... Yeah. We had the same reputation because we did the same
We
things.
both went to prison.
For 12 years.
Yep. What are the odds?
Mm-hmm.
And we were both military brats for 13 years.
The only reason I have a reputation is because I put my plus 1 in it.
No, I see.
I got it for... Yeah, we got it for military brat, I think, and we got it for prison.
Yes, because
Because
none
Steve
of
and
my
I, like-
stuff gives me reputation.
College had a chance of giving me another rep, but I
You
needed
didn't-
to be way smarter.
Yeah, I remember you were rolling for that.
Military service gives you a chance for another reputation.
Yeah, but I did guerrilla fighter. I didn't do...
Yeah. If you roll a d6, and if you get a 6, you get a medal and plus 1 reputation.
Not for guerrilla fighter.
Yeah.
Which is what I went with because the other military ones I wanted required stealth, but I didn't have stealth yet, so I thought guerrilla fighter would be good. Oh, name. Shit. I was supposed to be doing something. What is everyone else's names?
My name is Sasha.
Desmond Wolf.
Oh, I was playing Male, Robert? Or no, Steven. Are you playing a male?
Yep.
Cool. I knew Sasha was definitely in girls. Sasha, Steven is Desmond. That's a good name, yeah. Lance, G, do either of you have names yet?
Omar.
Omar?
That's awesome.
Your last name doesn't have to begin with a K, does it? Do we have to overthrow you?
Do you have a name?
Sasori.
Spell? Okay. Are you a male in this game?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I guess I better think of a name now, too. I'm gonna go see if Jason feels any better, because he kind of felt like shit. A little while ago, so.
That's sad.
He's rather sudden. Just, sometimes when you have mental illness, your brain decides to go, ha-ha, fuck you!
Yeah.
In the middle of doing something fun. And I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
Now we'll see if Leon learns that if he comes over here, he gets the pets.
Right?
And if he does not, well, he does not.
Homie.
That was not a cool noise. What was that for? Don't throw up, please.
It's like that cat retching sound where you're like, I don't know where this is going.
Oh god, what happened?
Where is it? Ooh, that's fun. Okay. I'm gonna be Astrid.
Ooh.
So that's a fun name I haven't heard in a while.
My problem with playing a female character is that all the names I can think of are like stripper names. Like, I don't know how that happens.
Chastity. Sugar.
Well,
Angel.
You laugh now, but
I'm just...
If that's the only problem you have, though, just Google. Just Google.
Any name can be a stripper name if you try hard enough.
I mean, technically speaking, yes.
I literally
but-
went to the Wikipedia for female spies, like, during wars, and, like, was like, ooh, I like that female name.
Mhm.
Cool, great.
Did the same thing. Took two from two different.
Yeah, let me
Bits
adapt
of fiction.
a last name from a different spy. So it's Astrid Hallow.
Ooh.
Hallow, yeah.
Hallow?
Yeah.
Nice. And Robert, you are
Sasha.
no last name?
No last name.
Agent Sasha.
Agent Sasha. I like that.
And you went with Omar.
There's some, like, inherent sass in that name, Sasha.
She is actually
Or you just look.
surly teenage ambidextrous human spy
And how do you
who is
spell it?
in that.
S-A-S... Have you watched Naruto?
No.
Okay, never mind that. S-A-S-O-R-I.
Puppet
Sister
sister over
Okay.
there.
What was your hook, Robert?
Japanese
Thank you.
orientation.
Thank you.
What was your hook?
What?
Is an avid D&D player.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I mean, that could come up.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Never, yeah.
I saw it as an option there, and I was like,
See, what you do is you use it for every time you need to fake an identity. You're like, I'm a role player. I can do this.
Yeah, there you go, actually. That's
That's pretty smart.
plus
anytime you
one
have
to tenacity.
Who are you? I
bonuses to
am.
disguise and assuming roles.
Yeah.
My name is
I'm a
Name.
wizard.
No.
10th level wizard.
There is only one thing you could be infiltrating where that works,
Oh boy.
and that's a problem.
Pretty funny. Oh.
Sir, excuse me. I am the Grand Wizard.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
I'm a barbarian.
Red
you can't
lights.
stop me. Yeah.
Alright, let me go see if Jason feels any better.
Yeah.
I'm going with Desmond Wolfe, an old inspiring human spy who loves literature.
That's nice. I like that.
That, like, no offense, but that gives me kind of like vision of elder, like, rapist.
That's a jump.
Seriously, like,
I see you like to read. That can only mean
but like, you know,
Literature.
if you picture like an elder guy who's very charismatic, like it's very like it's easy to be like
I
you're
kind
Sean
of
Connery,
Yeah.
and then it's like
And
Hugh
then it goes
Hefner.
a
Whoa,
little-
whoa, whoa, no, let's
It goes
backtrack a
too
little.
far, you know. No, I'm not wearing like a bathrobe surrounded by bunnies or
So yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
that's
that.
Purple road.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good insight into your mind.
Hey
You're
kids,
welcome.
let's read this book, Kama Sutra.
That is
Don't you
wrong on
like-
so many levels.
Don't you like literature? Do you like books with pictures?
It's foreign. Let's learn together.
Yeah.
We're learning about culture here.
Yeah.
And Leon
It's
looks
like
longingly
yoga,
into
but-
the distance.
With benefits.
It's a different kind of mind expanding yoga.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Open
man.
your
one
chakras.
Day, one day we'll get back to the mind expanding yoga. One day. Now he still feels like shit.
I still just love that setting.
That was so much fun.
Mhm.
I'd like to go back and finish doing that at some point. But no, my character is an observant human spy who indulges in excess.
Can't just
Hence-
have one cup of coffee, can you?
Hence why she has 2 ranks in blackjack and 2 ranks in brawl.
Nice. That makes perfect sense together, yeah.
So your dude likes literature.
You spent a lot of time in prison. What else you got? You got lucky,
It's true.
you got to read maybe.
Did you get the nice prison? You didn't get the foreign prison where they like tortured you and shit all the time?
I imagine it started as one, and then eventually it was like, alright, you've been around a while.
Just 12
We haven't
goddamn
gotten
years,
anything out of
right?
you.
You
Yeah.
can
Like-
become a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Went from
Those-
like
those
a
nice
POW
prison
to
tattoos.
a political prisoner.
Yeah. That's kind of what I imagine. It's like,
Fine inks.
it probably started with like some smaller rebel group or something like that, and then they eventually got absorbed into something else and was like, well, we don't know what to do with you, but we're not sending you back to where
Yeah,
you
we're not
came
gonna
from.
set you free.
Yeah.
You-
Unless if we get a good deal, you know.
Yeah, and eventually the deal came 12 plus ish years later, and there I was.
So
And
you
that's
took-
when they started to have to treat you right, is because then they had to make sure you looked okay to be able to like, yeah.
Don't damage the merchandise.
So you were a spy and then a prisoner and then a spy again?
Yep.
Is that what you did? Okay.
Not bad.
63 years old, so right on that
Wow.
edge of like probably time to retire.
Yeah.
Probably like the last couple of missions going on now.
But won't do it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we're
Yeah.
5 days before retirement.
Might
hey,
be-
as long as it's not
That's
one.
the guy.
If
That's
it's
the
one,
guy.
then I got problems.
Yeah.
then you might as well be wearing a red shirt.
That's when my luck runs out. That's when it's like, turns out I'm retiring tomorrow. Who knew?
Just stay home. Take that day off.
Yeah.
I'm sick. or
I use
like
it-
shoot yourself in the foot and put yourself in the
I gotta
hospital and be
go
like,
home.
oh no.
Pinky injury. Oh,
And then
I can't go.
And then
Pinky
you
toes
realize you
acting
can
up.
die of infection. You're like, oh crap.
Yeah. It's
Staph infection.
it'd
dead.
be one of those ironies where it's like you learn that, oh, you're going to retire in a day, and you're like, yeah, great, and it turns out somebody had poisoned you a few days earlier, and it's just now starting to act,
Yep.
and you're like, ah, dang it.
Ugh.
Slow burn.
Yeah.
Death. So what about your hook?
Humble assassin, spy, who collects rare antique weapons.
Nice.
Okay.
Goes with my martial artist, theme.
Background.
Yeah. I was born a martial artist. I was a ninja for some time, and then a warrior monk, and then I end up in a restaurant cooking noodles,
That's awesome.
which is
Fantastic.
it's funny because I was ninja and a warrior monk the same time as I was a cook noodles. It's like, but
really like those noodles.
yeah.
It's funny to me. I was so we did the military brat thing. Steve and I both spent 13 years being military brats, then boot camp. Then I was a guerrilla fighter for 4 years, prisoner for 12 years, and then a spy for 2 years.
Nice. I did military brat again 13, college for 4 years, a spy for 2, prisoner for 12, and then spy for 5.
Oh boy.
And then somewhere in there, 27 extra years. I assume that's when the prison got like lighter and a little bit easier.
Maybe, I don't know, since you decided to add years and be 63.
12 years in prison.
I'm literally,
At
my
least.
character's literally
That's
half
a lot
your
of
age.
books you read.
Yeah.
I was an experiment for 1 year.
You know.
Okay.
Just one.
Yeah, and then I started practicing gun kata for 9 years.
Fantastic.
And then I was a warrior monk for 4 years and a spy for 4 years.
Okay.
And now I'm 18.
Now you're 18.
I'm ready to vote.
So this is just anime for you. Is what I'm understanding.
Apparently, yeah.
Wow.
Battle Angel.
But I was going for
Yeah,
that
there you go.
Hattori Hanzo theme where he's like, he was brilliant for all the life and then he's just like a bartender serving sake for the guys.
And good sake is hard to
Yeah.
beat.
Oh, and after I was done with noodles, I went for a spy. Yes, mine as well. I learned
I'm
everything.
tired of being
I-
a chef.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go spy on people now.
Gotta have that well-rounded career history.
Right. But oddly enough, that gave me a local knowledge feat that is like, yeah, you know, being around people, that's pretty neat. Like spend an hour in any pretty much local area in a bar or wherever, and you can get a local knowledge of, you know, hey, where is that thing that I'm trying to find? That one down the street? No, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
That barfly
Yeah.
ability.
Well, I'm alert. A human spy who craves local food.
Who craves local food?
That's not bad.
All right, so,
So
we got
you-
we got food
So
with
you
us.
crave food differently to every place you go.
It's the, you know, the person who likes to get the local.
Cuisine.
When in
cuisine.
Rome.
Is that
yeah.
cockroaches? Oh yeah, I'll take one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give me one of those. Don't take me one of those damn touristy places. I want the real street tacos, man.
You're the
Yeah.
one who is like always drinks water when people say no, don't drink water there.
Oh,
Like,
I
no,
want
I'll
the
take
same
it.
experience.
I'll take that salad, please. Yes.
You've got just like an amazing gut biome as a
Yeah.
result.
Yeah.
What is it like the iron stomach? Ones?
Yeah.
Things we could've taken?
You're the spy version of Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah,
Rest
that's
in peace.
that's who I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because it took
Get that
Survivor, Scout, an explosive expert twice.
Specifically to be able to eat stuff.
So it's like, yeah, I've gone through a lot of stuff. Like, it initially started with me trying to like just scrape by, make food that I can eat from wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
That's
it's
smart,
like, oh
actually.
yeah, that now I'm just getting, you know, whatever local food is there because you know
Like a collection. That's pretty cool.
Makes sense.
it's what people in their kind of natural habitat make.
What doesn't poison me? I might eat it again.
It seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
And what is it?
The aftertaste on that mushroom was kind of weird. I couldn't tell if it was taste or
That
smell
didn't
or what.
physically murder me. I think I'll eat it again sometime.
They like fugu fish.
Jesus.
Tender.
Well, I guess at least we all got our characters together. Because, yeah, he feels like ass. So,
Oh yeah.
but you guys are welcome to hang out. It's just like I'm boring, so.
Oh, man, I didn't bring my Switch. Please.
Oh.
But I only live like 5 minutes away.
If you want to go get Super Smash Brothers, I'm not opposed to it. You don't have to.
That way we can finally answer the question: am I safe to smash? I fucking love Brian Gilbert.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much.
I stumbled across him one day, and it's like I need to know everything that you've done.
We've
Forever.
always watched like Polygon stuff because we love McElroy's, and then we started watching stuff with Pat, and then that led to Brian, and we were like, yeah, this is good.
What are you talking
He's a
about?
special child.
Some of the writers on Polygon
Who's it?
Brian David Gilbert.
Brian David Gilbert. That's the full name, man.
He does these ridiculous videos about like he put the whole
Like, name one and I will pull it out.
the Zelda one, right?
Yeah.
So he
okay.
did this thing where he like went through and decided ranked like the hottest Castlevania villains, but he didn't do like the stereotypical hot villain.
Those right out. They're already. Let's look at the ones. I'm pulling that one.
And he
out.
did the whole Zelda timeline, like time stream. He took every Zelda game and like culture and just like put them all together. And the one that like brought it all together was like Zelda Monopoly. It was fantastic. And then what?
Zelda
he read all
across
the books in
media.
Skyrim and like ranked them.
He tapped out on journals, which is fair because there's even more of those. But holy cow!
Good old
Alright,
dirty
let's see what-
Arconian made.
Yeah. He didn't end up grabbing that one because it was like too obvious, and also it was a play in like what, like 3 or 4 acts, and he's like, "Look, you cannot maintain sexual tension for that long. It's just impossible." All right, let's see if I can pull this up proper.
It's hilarious.
Why do I go to their site when I just need to go to YouTube for this?
I mean, normally, yeah, we just
Yeah,
watch on
just-
YouTube.
There we go.
But he's goddamn hilarious.
Favorite game series of all time.
Cool. There we go. Full screen. Tape.
Pivot! Sorry.
Friends reference?
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while.
I know.
There we go.
Jason.
Castlevania! One of my favorite game series
The
of all
only
time.
way to say
The
Castlevania.
myriad enemies you face in Dracula's abode are made even better, knowing that they come from real mythology and folklore. Wouldn't it be nice if there was one place you could find the full bestiary of every monster in Castlevania? I think that would be nice. Or at least I thought it would be nice. Oh, I swear to God, the first time I started filming this video, I thought it would be an easy change of pace. I mean, how many unique enemies could there really be in Castlevania? 100? 200? How about more than 600? So I booked 3 hours in this studio to film, and then we ran out of time about halfway through, so I went out to grab some lunch, but it started to rain, so I ate a chicken sandwich, drenched. That has nothing to do with the video. I just wanted you to know my pain. So I had to start filming all over again, this time after hours at a random meeting room in our office building. And when I finished that, I had 3.5 hours of footage that I was able to whittle down into an hour-long video that was very educational and extremely entertaining. Just kidding, it was boring as hell. But just when all hope seemed lost, I had an epiphany. I am going to throw myself into the sea. Luckily, before I could do that, my coworker stopped me and convinced me that trying to categorize all 600 Castlevania monsters was a bad idea. And instead, I could just pick the hot one. Ask yourself, why are vampires always the hot monster? Isn't it someone else's turn? I'm here to answer that question now that I'm filming this video for the 3rd time. Be thankful that I'm not releasing an hour-long video of me basically just lecturing you on mythology. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll release that video some other time. That was a joke. I'm not gonna do that. You're gonna have to trust me, it was a really bad video. So let's find Castlevania's most eligible bachelor! Let's call down that list of over 600 enemies. We're gonna start by smushing all of the ones
So
with
good.
common mythologies into just
Oh, good,
one
I do
enemy.
have-
So that
I
way
do
we
have
don't have to
subtitles
deal
on.
with the
Yeah.
96
There are
different
jokes in the
skeletons.
subtitles.
We're also gonna cut out all of the evil human beings, and that includes the Belmonts that you fight as enemies, and also all of the vampires. We all know that Dracula is hot. We all know that Richter Belmont is hot. I'm also going to go ahead and cut all of the enemies from Boku Dracula-kun, which was just a spin-off series, and Getsu Fumaden enemies, which only appeared in one stage in Castlevania Harmony of Despair. And now it's time to cut out the animals, mythical or otherwise. Look, if they're anthropomorphized, sure, but for things like Owl, that's not a monster. That's a bird. What about ephemera like will-o'-the-wisps, or inanimate objects made animate, kind of like golems or marionettes? I went back and forth on whether or not to include these, and then I realized they creep me out, so I cut them. Now I'm gonna cut out all of the gods and the god servants and the embodiments of things like chaos and evil, because those are inherently unique. I'm gonna cull this list a little bit more, because let's be honest, vampires aren't the only monsters that have had a taste of that sexy limelight. Witches and warlocks, zombie, orc, treants, werewolf, merman, gargoyle, gremlin, ghosts, Medusa, cyclops, yeti, fox archer, ogres, stained glass knight from Young Sherlock Holmes, where he appeared as the first photorealistic CGI in any movie back in 1985. And finally, mummies, Brendan Fraser. Wasn't the mummy in the film, but he's sexy enough that just by association. But we've culled it down to the perfect number to figure out our sexy monster. That's right, we got 69 left. Can I get a whoop? Woo! We'll work on it, Clayton. Criteria for what makes a sexy monster. Number 1, is it replicable? I've already explained this. It can't be a unique monster. Anything unique can be sexy. Look at Benedict Cumberbatch. Number 2, is it dateable? Have a conversation with this monster. Can you bring it to
very attractive
Applebee's?
man.
And number 3, can this monster get it? We're gonna start with
The start of the sex. So
kind of a veiny blob.
To be fair, I'm like 75% certain that Patrick is not just interested in women.
White,
It's interested in women at all.
W-I-G-H-T, comes from the Old English term meaning human being. It's like just a blue zombie. Necromancers, I don't know, they're into weird shit. Spriggans come from Cornish fairy lore, and they are described as old wizened men with huge childlike heads. Which someone's into, I'm sure. Nominon is a beast that, like, sucks the dreams out of your brains. And that's not a very supportive partner. Funaguchi is just a large protruding mouth. I don't want to know what that mouth do. The man-eating plant, the wak-wak tree, and the human face tree are all plants, so if you wanted to make the monster sexy, it would just... It's just a plant. The rug creature, you never actually see what it is. It's just always under the rug, which means it's probably just like a cat. Heart eater, if you're into bad boys. Castlevania has some of the best design in any pixel art game, except for the Tower's Guardian. I don't know what the hell this is. A ghoul isn't necessarily a zombie. It is something that eats corpses, which is just gross. This one's for the sapiosexuals out there. The brain float. Alaster, you should be wary of anyone who builds their personality around swords. Elementals are just embodiments of fire and frost, just hard to cuddle with. The Legend of Zelda, it's just a person with scythes. They are also known by the name the Night Stalker, which is a big red flag. The Kiyoma Demon hangs out in mirrors and jumps out and scares you, and I don't need to be afraid of looking at myself in the mirror. Man-Beast comes in 2 forms, Twink and Twunk. They say that eye contact is important. Maybe not this much. I do think we need a sexy skeleton. And the epitome of skeleton in this game is Yorick. Yorick comes from Hamlet, the famous soliloquy, Alas, poor Yorick. In the Japanese version, he isn't called Yorick, he's called Soccer Boy. The imp is a mischievous sprite, and I was a bit worried about size differentials, but then I remembered B-Movie, where a human woman falls in love with a bee. Jerry Seinfeld taught me that through love, all things are possible. Trolls. It's time for someone to give them the love they deserve. The next monster is Evil Force, and I want you to just go ahead and wipe away all preconceived notions. Obviously, the name makes it sound bad. It also is terrible. Medimu are Mesopotamian demons that come back from the dead when they weren't buried, which seems like super high maintenance. The Slaughterer apparently skips leg day. The Arthroverta, just a human face plastered on top of like an arthropod. I don't know, maybe. Chan Chan, or the Bitterfly, comes from Chile. It's about Mapuche wizards that turn into this thing, kind of like vampires turning into bats. It's a neat talent. The Killer Mantle comes from an urban legend in Japan about Akamanto, which is a spirit that lives in toilets, and then asks you if you want red or blue toilet paper. Red, they'll stab you in the back a bunch, and blue, they'll strangle you till you turn blue. I'm just not into toilet stuff. I mean, most of these monsters are pretty okay. They're not the most... Surprise! I lulled you into a false sense of security. It's time for a mini-game I like to call, If I Were a Castlevania Game, What Title Would I Be? Take your birth month,
I love this
and
list.
that's the first part of the title, of, and your birth date is the second part. My title would be Castlevania, Sonata of the Eclipse.
Medusa Flame.
Congregation of Angst.
Waltz Unease?
Waltz of Unease.
Recitative of pain.
That would be
Nice.
impression of frightenment.
Nice. Jason would be Sonata of Solitude.
That actually sounds like one of the games.
All of these games sound the same. We're halfway through the viable enemies. We got 35 monsters that I think are pretty good options. We're gonna start with the monsters that are supposed to be sexy, so it feels kind of unfair to use them as the sexy monsters. Lorelei, Lilith, and all of the succubi, harpies, headhunter, arachnes, dryads, rusalka, and naiads. I'm just putting these ones all around the sides. The demons, the ones with the horns and the wings, and they're really ripped and muscular. Mothman. Everyone thinks that Mothman's pretty sexy. Although this Jersey Devil depiction looks just kind of like a horse with wings, the actual Jersey Devil comes from an idea of a woman who cursed her 13th child, being like, oh god, I gotta have another baby. And then it came out, and then it grew like a goat's face and wings. And I just think we need to start thinking of New Jersey in general as sexier. And this might be the way to do that. The Minotaur, you gotta work through that labyrinth. But once you get in there, to find the real Minotaur, he might kill you. But he also might open up and be really lovely. The Chupacabra is an impish little fella, first sighted in Puerto Rico and is known throughout lots of Latin America. His name translates to goat sucker. Do I have to explain this? Are personifications of chaos and other evil ideas in Irish folklore. And they're these goat people, and they're ripped as hell. Lizard Man. If you don't know why I'm putting this here, you gotta go watch my Skyrim video. Banshee comes from Irish folklore and will foretell the death of someone you know. It's a bit spooky. It's also super emotionally available. You won't have to worry about what the Banshee is thinking. They will tell you when they're upset. Also when your parents are gonna die. Slogra doesn't have a folklore or mythology associated with it. I got nothing for you. If you're not attracted to this, you're wrong. Because the Raikuda only exists in Castlevania, it means that there's very specific artwork that you can find of it. So very modern artwork has been made about the Raikuda, which proves it can be sexy. Dullahan is a fairy that is like a headless horseman sort of thing. Of death, but can you think about all the cool Spider-Man kisses you could do with that? The Changshi is the Qing Dynasty version of a vampire. Karamet comes out when you bang on his pot a couple times. It's a good face, right? I can talk to that thing for hours. There are so many armors in Castlevania, no one can turn down a man in uniform. Or a poltergeist in uniform. Or literally just an enchanted uniform. Oh, mother of pearl, I forgot about goblins. Everyone forgets about goblins, though, so I'll put them over here. I also forgot about Siren. That's another thing that's sexy and draws people in. How did I skip so many of these? The Guillotiner. It doesn't look like much. Could be a problem, but it's time for us to bring it back. Slime. There are already things online. The Tsuchino is a Japanese cryptid that is a snake that is fatter in its middle than on its head or its tail. I just don't see why it's sexy. Patrick, you gotta understand, it's not about what you could first see, right?
I mean, even after that, what do you see after that?
It has a propensity for lying and for drinking alcohol. Patrick thinks it shouldn't be this high on the list, but fuck Patrick. We're at the top 5, but before we get there, I have a confession to make. I've kept 6 monsters that don't even fit my criteria, but I love them so much that I think they deserve a chance. First up is a unique character. It's Nurgle Mislamsty. The reason I think he deserves a chance is because someone named him Nurgle Mislamsty. Of course he's gonna be fucking evil. If you name your child... What's up with people in Castlevania naming their children dumb shit? Seriously, Alucard? Dracula. You can't just name your child your name backwards. I'm not gonna name my son Nair, but it's an inanimate object that is going to name it, but I fucking love candles. Next 2, I think, are pretty self-explanatory. Bone Pillar. And if that doesn't make you happy... How about the Bone Dragon? This next one is a ghost, and I've already explained why that one shouldn't be included in this, but I had to because the ghost's name is Duke Mirage. And if someone comes up and introduces themselves to me as Duke Mirage, my pants are already off. Finally, I know I mixed all animals, but I really do think we should include Hyena with gun. Get it. We're at the top 5. Malabranca comes from Dante's Divine Comedy. They're all unique demons that are used to help keep corrupt politicians under boiling pits of tar in hell. They all have great names like Cognazzo and Scarmiglione, which was translated into the English version as
politicians are really deep down in
which is
this.
just a SoundCloud
Yeah, they are.
rapper.
It's
They're already
it's almost
used
as
to this,
if
and they
Dante
make
had
corrupt
something to say
politicians.
about the current political climate at his time.
The Myconid is a sentient race of mushroom people.
Or
If you
of
have
all time.
anthropomorphized
Yeah,
animalia,
anytime, really.
Why not anthropomorphize fungi? When I was a kid, my mom thought that I
He also
had
really
a
hated the
nutritional
Greek.
deficit because I kept wanting to eat mushrooms so much, like that I ate only mushrooms for like a whole week. That has nothing to do with this. I know I took out all of the werewolf creatures, but this one isn't that. This is the Princess of Moss. The human version is based off of Let Them Eat Cake. Marie Antoinette. I think we should have more moth creatures in our movies, right? It's they're already drawn towards the limelight. It's an Ukobak. Why is this the second sexiest monster from Castlevania? I'll tell you why. He carries around a hot thing of coals and a spoon, and is also responsible not only for fried foods, but fireworks. Hell yes! What a cool dude! I think Ukobaks could be real sexy, right? And what is more sexy than feeding someone with a lovely fried dish? And finally, the thing that I think should be the new sexy monster, the Mandrake, or the Allura Une. Basically, any sort of plant person. Allura Une actually comes from a 1911 book called Alraune. It's a German story. I just think that this kind of gives you a blank slate on something. Sure, this thing is born from the ground where hanged men bleed, which is spooky and scary, but it's not their fault, right? You know, they didn't choose to be born. Who does choose to be born, right? Who chooses? The metaphors of how our family raises us, you know? The Mandrake is a perfect idea of something that can become greater than its original circumstances. So there you go. The full bestiary of the sexy monsters. Again, couldn't give you the full bestiary because that took me way too long. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go throw myself into the ocean now.
When you commit to a bit.
He does. Oh, Patrick does nothing but commit. Or Pat and Brian both.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
if it's Jersey, you might find the rum pump.
Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Polygon if you want to see more.
That's a commitment. And
Oh.
every video like that?
yes.
Castlevania
Oh,
title.
boy.
Maybe
Yes.
that'll convince them to make a new game.
I hope he makes enough money.
See, I don't know if they pay him enough because
For
the
what he
Zelda one
does?
took like hours. And you know the Skyrim took like literal hours.
Yeah. He had to
He's-
read all of that and then organize it.
I mean, it.
Oh.
Oof. And one of my favorite things about that videos is you could always hear at least one person, usually
Yeah.
Pat, like laughing in the background.
Just there's that moment where it's like, and there's the break. I tried so hard.
But yeah, that was great. We'll like put up a poll and see who's available when this coming week because I know it's Christmas and stuff, and we'll actually play this game.
I'll probably be free.
And Jason doesn't feel like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably be good after Wednesday.
I'm definitely not planning to go anywhere. Don't know about this